Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Everyone's job transfer. This assassin is a bit strong. Chapter 71. As Qin Yun walked forward, he encountered several skeleton monsters from time to time. He raised and lowered his sword, one by one. Finally, he came to the center of Secret Realm. There is also a strange building here, but it is different from the previous one. It is like some kind of anomaly altar, and its shape is quite unique. Moreover, the scene here also surprised Qin Yun. Really, one of his previous conjectures was verified. This place is indeed the nest of a group of undead creatures. I saw that this altar was densely packed with wandering skeleton monsters. The white skeleton and the blue and cold soul fire burned in their deep eye sockets. When Qin Yun appeared at the edge of the altar, many skeleton monsters looked at him, which made people feel numb. He finally knew why the name of this secret realm was Blue Secret Realm. This large group of pale and gloomy skeletons, as well as the blue soul fire jumping in their eye sockets, is simply a blue sea. Could this secret realm's boss-level boss be a lich? Qin Yun was a little surprised, but thought it was unlikely. You must know that lichs are high-level transcendents, at least level 80 and above, and cannot appear in the low-level secret realm of level 40. Moreover, the level of the skeleton monsters here is also very low, only more than 30 levels, and they don't look like minions summoned by the lich. So, could it be that secret realm boss is a level 40 necromancer? Qin Yun felt that this was very possible, and he began to look forward to it. Click, click, the alarmed skeleton monsters rushed towards him, their skeletons making strange noises, making people wonder if they would fall apart in the next second. But this is impossible. They are quite dangerous monsters. Whether it is defense or attack power, they are slightly stronger than the freshman contestants who have just turned around. If they are surrounded by a group of them, I am afraid that a team of 5 people will not be able to please them and they will have to turn around and run away immediately. But Qin Yun was not afraid. He took out his dagger and faced him. Aha! He cut off the neck of a certain skeleton warrior with one knife. The head flew high and finally fell to the ground. The bones of the skeleton warrior's jaw clicked wildly, and the soul fire in the eye sockets was quickly extinguished. Qin Yun's damage was simply beyond what it could bear. Another skeleton warrior took the opportunity to strike at Qin Yun, but he dodged it and plunged the dagger into its eye socket. Its soul fire suddenly flickered, dissipated and extinguished. Well, although the core of these skeleton monsters is the fire of the soul, even if the skeleton is broken, they can still be reorganized, but they still have a health bar after all. Once the health value is cleared and reduced to 0, they will still have to die. Therefore, even though they look scary, in Qin Yun's eyes, they are still ordinary monsters, no different from other monsters. 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30. Qin Yun quickly cleaned up these skeleton monsters, neatly and without any sloppiness. He began to approach the altar, wanting to see who the boss-level boss of Secret Realm was. I finally know why he was able to reach level 20 in just 1 month. In the stands, everyone couldn't help but marvel as they watched Qin Yun kill the skeleton monsters that besieged him. With this speed of spawning monsters, how could the upgrade be so slow? This guy doesn't look like an assassin at all, but more like a berserker. He never used his stealth skills at all, and never thought about lurking in. Instead, he rampaged all the way and killed every monster in his way. What is this if not a berserker? Moreover, his injuries are too outrageous, right? These skeleton monsters were obviously more than 10 levels higher than him, but he was chopping melons and vegetables, one by one. What kind of perverted talent has he awakened? Why so fierce? Everyone was very curious about this and wanted to take him out of the secret realm immediately and interrogate him. Of course, this is impossible, the old principal is watching. If you want to invite him to join your guild, you have to at least wait until the freshman competition is over. Many people can't wait, and their interest in Qin Yun is even more than that of the SS-level talent Holy Shield Knight. Qin Yun, looking at the figure of the person who was placed on the main screen, Zhang Yu's eyes sparkled and he muttered his name, becoming more and more interested in him. With the strength Qin Yun showed, it was hard for her to imagine that he was just an S level. Even back then, when she reached level 20, she would not be able to defeat monsters at more than 10 levels, and still be able to chop melons and vegetables like this. This guy, where is his limit? Zhang Yu even suspected that this was far from all Qin Yun, he should have more hidden strength. Click. Qin Yun stabbed the dagger into the eye socket of the last skeleton archer, easily dispatching it. He finally reached the foot of the altar, killing hundreds of enemies on the way, leaving bones and debris scattered all over the floor. Climbing the long stairs to the altar, Qin Yun stood outside the narrow passage and looked inside carefully. A skinny figure was facing him, sitting on a throne, wearing a mage's robe, holding a skeleton staff, and two blue and cold flames were burning and jumping in his eyes. It is indeed the necromancer. Seeing the opponent's appearance, Qin Yun knew that his guess was correct. The leader-level boss of Secret Realm was a necromancer. He threw a detection scroll directly at it and immediately saw its level attribute. Name: Necromancer Udwama. Level 40. Life. Attack power. Physical defense. Magic defense. Skill, well, except for the name and level, everything else is just a series of question marks. This is because the level difference between the two parties is just over level 15, so he cannot check the specific attributes of the other party. You don't even know what your blood volume is, how can you do this? Qin Yun frowned, feeling a little embarrassed. What's its attack power? What are its skills? It shouldn't kill me instantly, right? Judging from the attribute panels of those skeleton monsters, this boss is only about 5 or 6 levels higher than them, and its attributes should not exceed too much. But it is a boss-level boss after all, and its attribute template is different from that of ordinary level monsters. Who knows what it is? If its attack power is very high, its HP is high and it can't be lost in seconds, and with its defense, it can't withstand even 2 attacks, then he will be in danger. However, just giving up and not fighting is not his style. Well, how about giving it a try? Qin Yun took a look at his points and saw that he was far ahead and firmly ranked first. There are so many things to surpass others. If there are no accidents, you basically don't have to worry about being caught up. You can take the risk and give it a try. But if he is killed by the boss and leaves Secret Realm, and other teams join forces and finally succeed in killing the boss, the points may still be overtaken, and there is a risk of losing the championship. How to choose? Superior. Still not going. Qin Yun felt a little hesitant. This was the first time he encountered a situation where he couldn't see the monster's attributes, so he was a little unsure. There is still more than an hour left, less than half the time, before the battle for Secret Realm ends. If he can win this leader-level boss, he will get 4,000 points. He will basically win for sure, and the championship will definitely be his. But if you accidentally overturn your car, other teams may get the points and overtake you to win the championship. After carefully weighing these two possibilities, Qin Yun took a deep breath and decided to play it safe first. He turned around and exited the altar, walked down the stairs, and stared at the skeleton monster wandering nearby. Since it's not stable enough, let's let our points lead others by at least 5,000 points. As long as we kill all the skeleton monsters in the center of Secret Realm, that should be enough. He is now more than 2,700 points ahead of the second place, still more than 2,000 points behind. The skeleton monsters here are around level 35. In other words, killing about 70 more will be enough. And when he fought all the way towards the altar just now, he only eliminated hundreds of skeleton monsters, less than half of their total number. As long as you kill all the remaining skeleton monsters, your points will be unparalleled and firmly at the top of the list. Okay, let's do it. It was about the ownership of a piece of legendary level equipment, and Qin Yun didn't want to be careless and regret it in the end. There is no denying that his output damage is really fierce. But his body is actually only 50% damage reduction, which is still a bit unsatisfactory. Qin Yun was very calm and did not let the upcoming victory go to his head. He still remembered that his biggest goal this time was to win the Secret Realm Championship, not to compete with a leader-level boss. He's hesitating. Seeing Qin Yun in the projection standing in front of the entrance to the altar without going in immediately, Zhang Yu could certainly see his hesitation and couldn't help but curve his mouth slightly, looking forward to what decision he would make. If he maintains high damage output and rushes in to challenge the Secret Realm boss without hesitation, then of course he deserves to be praised for his courage. But this is the behavior of a reckless man, a bit reckless of the consequences. Although he is currently leading in points, there is still a possibility of being surpassed. If he rushes in without taking this into consideration, it means that he is not calm enough and cannot analyze his situation. If this is the case, then her evaluation of him will be much lower. Because sooner or later, you will be in trouble, otherwise, especially in a place like the mysterious tower where there is no way to resurrect, you have to be careful. Zhang Yu couldn't help but laugh when he saw Qin Yun turn around and walk off the altar, running to kill those skeleton monsters. This is what she wants to see, the qualities that an excellent career changer should possess. He is really suitable to join our guild. She looked at Xiao Yuer, her eyes full of appreciation. Then he has to be willing. Xiao Yuer said expressionlessly, pouring a handful of cold water on her to cool her down. Probably because she is worried that the greater her expectations, the greater her disappointment. He'll agree. Zhang Yu nodded, seeming very confident. Okay, all cleaned up. After spending some time, Qin Yun finally cleaned up all the skeleton monsters near the center of Secret Realm and harvested some messy materials. He looked at his points that had soared to more than 8,000 points, which was more than 6,000 points ahead of the second place, and he couldn't be too satisfied. Now, even if others want to surpass me, they won't have enough time to find enough wild monsters. Except for the Secret Realm Center, monsters are not so dense in other places. Even if there are enough, they are scattered, and they do not have enough time to hunt them down. Well, the championship is secured. Qin Yun was convinced of this fact and felt relieved. Even if he quits Secret Realm now, he will still be number 1. If that's the case, then, there seems to be no need to fight the necromancer, right? He scratched his head and muttered to himself. Then why has he been busy for so long? A showdown with the Secret Realm boss? Forget it, that's it anyway, let's go and challenge it. Qin Yun looked at the altar again, a trace of determination flashed in his eyes. He wanted to see how powerful this Secret Realm boss was, with all question marks on its attribute panel. Climbing the long staircase, Qin Yun came to the entrance of the altar again. This time, he stepped in resolutely. Wow, a biting cold wind suddenly hit his face. The blue flame in the eyes of the necromancer who was sitting high on the throne suddenly brightened. It was alarmed by the intruder and slowly stood up from the throne. The terrifying aura spread toward Qin Yun. Well, it looks like a big boss. It slowly raised the skeleton staff in its hand, and the terrifying magic power stirred in the entanglement on it, making a faint scream and wailing sound, as if it was about to release some amazing skills. Qin Yun also felt as if he was facing a formidable enemy and did not dare to look down upon him. The reason why he did not activate invisibility and use the level 25 general skill, SAP, to control it is because the boss-level boss has a hegemonic body. Before being defeated, he is basically immune to most controls except taunting, among which is including coma. His eyes narrowed, and he immediately activated his talent skill Delusion Breaking Eye, marking its weakness. Then, he struck first, and with a flash, he came in front of the necromancer. Tear and cut. Qin Yun activated his level 15 general skill, and his dagger suddenly crossed and swung, landing on the necromancer's body. The next second, he didn't look at the damage value at all. He stabbed it in the back and teleported behind it. The dagger in his hand penetrated deeply into the necromancer's back. 35,612. 162,871. 2 consecutive terrifying damage values floated from the head of the necromancer, almost in no particular order. One didn't hit the weak point, and the other hit accurately, which is the critical damage in red and bold. Just when Qin Yun wanted to continue to attack, he found the necromancer wailing and died suddenly on the spot. It actually took a second. He didn't even know whether it was the first move that came out instantly or the second move that came out instantly, and he stopped moving for a moment. Fortunately, he planned to throw all his skills at it to maximize the damage. Is this boss not as powerful as I thought? He couldn't help but feel dazed as he watched the necromancer's body spontaneously combust, with blue flames emitting from his body, and finally turned into a pile of ashes, leaving only a ball of rags and the skeleton staff. Immediately afterwards, a dazzling purple light lit up on the spot. The equipment actually exploded. Qin Yun screamed in surprise, and he immediately walked over and picked up the things. He had swiped so many skeleton monsters, and all that came out were ordinary materials. This was the first time he saw light, and it was also purple light, so he couldn't help but be pleasantly surprised. Could it be that the boss's skeleton staff exploded? Just as he was about to check the space backpack, there was suddenly a loud noise outside. Seconds. Seeing the picture on the projection, Zhang Yu was slightly startled and his eyes widened. Isn't it? The boss necromancer of Secret Realm is at level 40, which is more than 15 levels higher than Qin Yun, and he also has a leader level attribute template. It actually took 2 moves in seconds. What the hell kind of damage is he doing? It's amazing. It's unbelievable. Is the shadow assassin so strong? Everyone in the stands was also talking a lot. They never expected that when Qin Yun finally walked into the altar to challenge the Secret Realm boss necromancer, the result would be like this. Originally, they thought that Qin Yun would have a very difficult battle and even end in failure. After all, the level attributes of the Secret Realm boss necromancer are much higher than those of him who are more than 20 levels in one turn. He cannot be dealt with by one person at all. At least a dozen 5-person teams must work together to siege, and maybe someone can win, possible. But who would have expected that Qin Yun would run in alone and win the fight so easily? How fierce is he? Everyone in the major guilds, as well as the sophomores, juniors, and seniors, were almost all stunned and in disbelief. What a terrible instant burst of damage. Xiao Yuer, who had a laptop on her knees, also looked at Qin Yun in the projection with some shock, her eyes trembling slightly. If I read it correctly, he only used 2 common assassin skills just now, one is level 15 tearing and cutting, and the other is level 20 backstab. A light flashed in her eyes and she began to calculate and analyze. They are all assassin skills with the highest damage coefficient that Qin Yun can master at this stage. The damage coefficient of tearing and cutting is 220%, and the damage coefficient of backstab is 250%. The total of the two is 470%. And the attributes of the Secret Realm boss necromancer are. Xiao Yuer's hands were phantom tapping on the keyboard, and she quickly called up the attribute information about this level 40 Secret Realm boss necromancer. HP 64,800, physical defense 1450. I want to use these 2 assassin skills to attack to kill it. You need at least a minimum base damage output of 13,080. In other words, Qin Yun's 100% basic attack power, plus the total damage bonus of his 2 awakened talent skills, will be as high as 13,800. The damage bonus coefficient of S level's awakening talent skill is generally around 250%. Considering that he is a special hidden combat profession, the damage bonus coefficient should be increased by 50%, that is, 300%. If his 2 talent skills if it's all 300%. Taking into account the physical defense value of the Secret Realm boss necromancer, Qin Yun's basic attack power is at least 0.3748. Xiao Yuer analyzed it and spoke very fast, mixed with various nouns and data. It was almost difficult for ordinary people to hear clearly. This Qin Yun is only over 20 levels in one turn. His main attribute points are less than 1000, and his attack power as the bonus is still very limited. In terms of equipment, at this stage, he is only of purple rare quality at most. Even if all of them are 5-star, equipped with level 20 purple equipment, weapons, armor, and accessories, and all 10 items are maxed out, his attack power cannot be so high. Unless his awakening talent skill, the damage bonus coefficient is higher than I expected. This girl seems to be very good at analysis and calculation. After quickly calculating the result in her mind, she was almost in disbelief. Her pupils were shaking. No, his talent level is S level. I should have calculated it correctly, but... And Zhang Yu, who was sitting next to him and understood her analysis, was also completely shocked. He shook his head subconsciously. No, there should be other factors that influence. How could he pile up equipment to the limit? His information shows that he comes from an ordinary family and his financial situation is not very good. How can he afford so much extreme equipment? If Qin Yun heard what she said, he would definitely burst into tears and nod in agreement. Yes, my biggest pain point is lack of financial resources. From Xiao Yuer's analysis and calculation, it can be said that the answer is very close to the truth. Although she certainly could not have imagined that the total damage of Qin Yun's 2 skills would almost exceed 200,000, far exceeding the Secret Realm boss necromancers. A total of 64,800 HP. But similarly, she also calculated the damage bonus coefficients of Qin Yun's 2 awakening talent skills, which were obviously 1000% of the God-killing blade, plus 1000% of the delusion-breaking eye, a total of 2000%. I mistakenly thought it was only 600%. The answer is that his attack power is at least 3748, which is more than 600 higher than his real attack power of 3133. Despite all kinds of misunderstandings, she was still so close to the truth. She had something. If Qin Yun were here, he would probably give her a thumbs up. But the truth of the matter is often so simple. He is not an S-level talent, but an SSS level, that's all. If there is a mistake in this premise, all misunderstandings become wonderful, which is very interesting. However, Qin Yun will definitely not be able to hear the conversation between Xiao Yuer and Zhang Yu. He is in big trouble now. Before he had time to check what the purple light erupted from the BOSS was, there was a loud noise outside the altar, which showed that there were a lot of people. Qin Yun's ears twitched slightly, and of course he heard the movement. However, he tilted his head and thought about it, and decided to see what trophies he got first to satisfy his curiosity. Name: Undead Skeleton Staff. Type: Weapon. Grade: Rare. Star rating: 2 stars. Level requirement: Level 40. Occupational requirements: Mage. Wearing requirements: Intelligence 600 points or above. Attribute effect: Magic attack power plus 1350. Constitution plus 200. Stamina plus 200. Intelligence plus 300. Critical hit plus 10%. Special effect: Soul Drain. Passive skill: 5% of the damage caused to the enemy will be converted into magic power to restore your own mana. Good stuff. Definitely good stuff. Seeing the properties of this piece of equipment, Qin Yun was so happy that he almost jumped up, beaming with joy. Although I can't use it, it's valuable. If you sell it, you won't make hundreds of thousands. Moreover, this staff also has the special effect, Soul Drawn. This thing is a magic skill that can last for a long time. It allows the mage to keep throwing away skills, transform into a transcendent level turret, and output like crazy without having to worry about not having enough mana. It must be worth a lot of money for this special effect alone. Qin Yun seemed to have seen a lot of small coins flying towards him with wings, and laughed happily. It's a pity that he doesn't have enough intelligence attribute points, and he's not a mage. It's impossible to equip it and see what it looks like. However, it must be similar to the bone staff that the Secret Realm boss Necromancer just held in his hand. It should be very cool. After satisfying his curiosity, he put the things away and put them into his space backpack. Noting that the din was getting closer, he turned and walked out of the altar aisle and outside. I saw a large group of freshman contestants rushing towards this direction with murderous intent. There are quite a lot of people. Seeing this scene, even though Qin Yun had been mentally prepared for it, he was still shocked. Because there are so many people, a rough count, at least 400 to 500. This was far beyond his expectation, and it was a bit numb. No matter how fierce he is, it is very difficult to kill so many people in one fell swoop. Even if they stood still, it would take him several minutes. Of course, these people couldn't just let him hit him casually without fighting back. They would even fight back harshly. They basically form a team, a group of 5, with meat, output, and support. The scariest thing is that you don't know how many control skills they have. Once he is targeted by them and surrounded by them, Qin Yun dare not say how long he can survive. His only weakness is his fear of being controlled. Once they throw skills and control him, he basically doesn't have to play anymore. It's probably just a round of concentrated fire output. In just a few seconds, he will turn into white light and die. Not to mention him, if someone had transferred to a higher level job, they would probably be beaten to death. Basically, there would be no other good ending. They would not be able to move, and there was no way to resist. In the end, they would be scratched and scratched bit by bit, die. A tiger cannot hold off a pack of wolves, and an elephant will be killed by ants. He is not a leader-level Secret Realm boss. He is born with a dominant body and is immune to most control skills. The total number of new contestants entering Secret Realm this time is just over 1,000. Haha, this is almost half done, isn't it? You really think highly of me. Maybe there are more people arriving one after another, but they haven't arrived yet. Qin Yun twitched the corner of his mouth, feeling that it was best for him to activate his invisibility directly, then turn around and run away, the sooner the better. However, he looked around the altar and found that they were surrounding them from almost all directions. They were so densely packed that there was no way for him to survive. He could guess that this was because his ranking rose so fast, which caused all the freshman contestants to go completely crazy and regarded him as their biggest competitor and the target of public criticism. Ma Dan, are you really going to die and leave the secret realm? Isn't this too ugly? Qin Yun was speechless and reminded himself to calm down, but he couldn't find a chance to escape. After thinking about it, he took the initiative to walk down the long stairs and came to the square under the altar, directly facing this large group of murderous lunatics. Hey, hello everyone. Qin Yun took the initiative to say hello to them, with the corners of his mouth raised, looking enthusiastic and happy. Yes, it's him, Qin Yun. He is indeed here. Mard, come together and chop this person to death. Kill him. Never let him live. Those people were not friendly at all and ignored his greetings. They became angry and shouted at him to kill him. Ah, this. Qin Yun has finally seen what it means to be angry and hard to offend. Those murderous gazes were like knives, almost piercing his whole body, leaving him riddled with holes and leaving no trace of his body. He had almost foreseen his next end. That means being swarmed by this group of people, slashing and killing him 100 times. How cruel, so desperate. However, even though there are thousands of people, I will go. Even if I am destined to die, I will die on the road of fighting and die vigorously. Rather than stand still and let them wreak havoc on you without making any resistance. Qin Yun felt a surge of heroic spirit in his heart and was ready to launch a desperate counterattack. Although he originally wanted to use his sharp tongue to talk to them, he wanted to persuade people with reason, persuade them with virtue, and persuade them to retreat reasonably. However, in this situation, it is no longer necessary. Anyway, everything he wants to do and fight for has already been obtained. Why not give it a try, have a hearty fight, and enjoy the fun of fighting? Even if you are besieged by tens of millions of people, what do you have to fear? Only death. Qin Yun held the pale blade with both hands, and opened his arms generously, as if he was going to face the coming stormy waves without fear or regret. The two sides were only a few dozen meters apart, and were about to enter their respective skill ranges. The atmosphere of war was about to break out. However, at this moment, several figures rushed out from the crowd and stood between Qin Yun and everyone. Don't even think about hurting my brother. The tone is decisive and righteous. It was Qian Duoduo, Meng Chao, and their 5-man team. In this desperate situation, they finally arrived and stood on Qin Yun's side without hesitation, sacrificing their lives in front of him and determined to resist the sword for him. Boss Qin, we are here. Qian Duoduo and Meng Chao looked at Qin Yun excitedly, including the other 3 teammates, all wanting to repay Qin Yun for his previous help. If you want to hurt our boss, step over our corpse first. The 5 people shouted loudly to everyone, drew their weapons, and assumed fighting postures, fighting to the death. And I. Zhao Qing also stood up, shouted loudly, left the individual team he temporarily joined, walked to Qian Duoduo and Meng Chao, and nodded to Qin Yun. Then, with a wave of his hand, he summoned 3 magical beasts of different shapes, a violent bear, a ferocious tiger, and a falcon, and actively blocked them in front of everyone. Seeing this scene, Qin Yun felt hot in his heart, as if there was a stream of heat gushing out, warming his limbs and bones. Don't hurt brother Qin Yun. Another team came out of the crowd and came to the middle. It was Amelia Su. Her petite and thin body stopped in front of Qin Yun without hesitation. Her weak but firm voice resounded throughout the battlefield. She held her shield high like an indestructible iron wall. Even though everyone was watching her, as a socially fearful girl, she did not give in. She just subconsciously shrank her neck and still stood there stubbornly. Ling Shuier followed her closely and nodded silently to Qin Yun. Then, she stood behind Amelia Su. The magic staff in her hand began to condense, and she was as cold as a goddess of ice and snow. Holy and inviolable. If they dare to take action, she will directly use a large-scale blizzard, slow down control, plus group attack damage. Their 3 female team members also had solemn expressions on their faces, unhesitatingly supporting Captain Su Xiaoyu's decision and resolutely accompanying her to death without any regrets. Qin Yun never expected that they would actually do this, and he was so moved that he didn't know what to say. He nodded towards them, and only one thought came to his mind, that is, he would never let them die before he was killed. Qin Yun is the pride of our main city, Tianhai No. 1 Middle School. You are not allowed to gang up on him. Yes, we will never allow it. A team of 5 people stood up. They were the same people who were admitted to Kyoto University. Although their talent level was only A level, they all dared to speak up for Qin Yun and came forward. Qin Yun was very moved by this, and his eyes almost filled with tears. It was clear that they had not exchanged a few words and their relationship was limited to classmates of Tianhai High School, but they still stood up to support him. Support our monitor. Come on, let them know that our output team, Class 1, is not someone to be trifled with. Some more people ran out, and they were the students from Class 1 of the output department. They also came. There were men and women, shouting slogans, and they were all willing to support Qin Yun and stand on his side. Although not all of them, there were at least a dozen people, almost half the class. Even some teammates who were not originally from the first team of the DPS department were brought over by them, looking confused and a bit funny. Ah, I almost forgot, I'm still a monitor. Qin Yun was a little surprised. He didn't expect that there would be people willing to support him as the squad leader. He was obviously pushed to the top in the first place. Although he did fulfill his duties as a squad leader and did some things later, he did not really want to be the squad leader voluntarily. He originally thought that those people in his class were trying to trip him up and deliberately embarrass him, fat who, waiting for a good show. Unexpectedly, in this situation, someone would actually take the initiative to stand up and support him. You know, the enemy is outnumbered, and it is still very dangerous to fight with a few dozen people against 400 to 500 people, and there is little hope of winning. This may very well disqualify them from the next Secret Realm battle. In the center of the Secret Realm, in the altar square, the atmosphere was extremely solemn. On the ground were the broken bones left by the skeleton monster, the square was crowded with people, and the air was filled with the smell of gunpowder. 400 to 500 people surrounded dozens of people in the middle. The water was blocked and there was no way to escape. A war was about to break out. Even if there are dozens of people on this side, everyone is determined to fight to the death, but the disparity in numbers between the enemy and ourselves is too great, and their chance of survival is really low. Faced with such a situation, Qin Yun became a little impatient. Although everyone was able to stand up to support him, and draw swords to fight for him, he was very moved, almost beyond words. However, he knew that he had to find a way to prevent this unprecedented war from happening. Because, if he was alone, he would laugh and start a war with everyone. Even if there are thousands of people, why should I be afraid? Only death. If only Qian Duoduo and the others stood up to support him and wanted to fight alongside him, Qin Yun would only call him, good brother, for the rest of his life, and then join them, fighting happily and fighting to the death. Even if Amelia Su and Ling Xuer are willing to accompany him to death, advance and retreat together, and share hardships, Qin Yun will only be deeply moved, inherit their friendship, and repay him in the future. But now, even his classmates from Tianhai High School and those from Class 1 of the Output Department have come forward to fight for him and protect him as the monitor. He really doesn't know what to say. No, we could have fought originally, but now we must not really fight, causing them to die in vain. This is what Qin Yun has in mind. He cannot let everyone be eliminated and lose the qualification for the Secret Realm competition just for him. This is a freshman competition. For everyone who is admitted to Kyoto University, there is only one chance, which is extremely precious. I have to stop the war from happening. Seeing that the atmosphere between the two sides was getting more serious and the battle was about to break out, Qin Yun suddenly shouted, attracting everyone's attention. Everyone, don't do anything yet. I have something to say, please listen carefully. His loud voice almost resounded throughout the altar square, making everyone almost tremble and almost subconsciously lose their skills. Fortunately, they found out that it was Qin Yun who was talking and finally restrained themselves. They wanted to see what the culprit wanted to say. Was he trying to beg for mercy? Everyone, Please open the ranking list first and take a look at my current points. Seeing everyone looking at him, Chin Yun couldn't help but start talking seriously. Yes, my points have exceeded 12,000. Even the second place is still at least 10,000 points lower than me. If you have passed primary school mathematics, you should know that I have already won the championship of this freshman competition. It is already in my possession. Even if you eliminate me and send me out of the secret realm, it won't change this fact. Chin Yun said loudly, causing all the freshman contestants to change their expressions and look ugly. Because after they opened the points ranking list, they found that what he said was true. His points had indeed skyrocketed again, from more than 8,000 to more than 12,000. The gap with their points was so huge that it was disappointing. Humph, Chin Yun, what do you want to say? Are you deliberately showing off to us? Haha, I think you think your death is too slow, so you want us to be more cruel to you. Quote. Then as you wish. All the freshman contestants were annoyed and angry, and some even lost their guard and started yelling. No, I mean, the leader-level secret realm boss with the highest points has been killed by me. Your only comeback point has been taken by me in advance. Chin Yun shook his head and reminded loudly, even if you kill me, you can't surpass me in the points ranking and win the championship. So, why are you still targeting me? Just to vent, that's too irrational. I want to ask you to calm down and think carefully. Is what I said true? He persuaded frankly and well-founded, and took the initiative to analyze the situation for everyone, not only the secret realm boss. Please take a look at your feet. There were also some skeleton monsters here, and there were a lot of them, but I cleared them all. They will not refresh again until the battle for secret realm is over. In other words, champion, you have no hope. But second place, third place, you can still fight for it. You know, the rewards for second and third place are all epic equipment. In previous freshman competitions, the championship prizes were only epic equipment. Why do you want to fight against me for a championship that is destined to be unwinnable? Why not seize the time, fight monsters to earn points, and try to get second or third place? That's the point of everyone participating in the freshman competition. Don't let yourself waste opportunities just for the sake of impulse, and you will regret it later. Although there are many monsters nearby, their numbers are limited, first come first served. A smile appeared on the corner of Chin Yun's lips and he said deliberately, I think the total number of people you have come is almost half. What about the rest? Are they really too late to come here? Or are they smarter than you and have anticipated this a long time ago, so they didn't plan to come over at all? While you are wasting time by dealing with me, they have already seized every minute and every second to fight monsters and gain points. If you don't believe me, take a closer look. Do the points of the people on the ranking list, especially those at the top, continue to rise? Are they getting more and more? So, stop being so stupid and continue to get in trouble with me here. They have long since secretly surpassed you in points rankings while you were not paying attention, and have widened the gap with you. Everyone, calm down and think carefully about your purpose in participating in the freshman competition. Chin Yun had already put away the dagger and shouted loudly, since I can't change the fact that I won the championship, then try your best to win the second or third place. Be more sensible, be more mature. I believe that everyone who can be admitted to Kyoto University is not a fool. Everyone is a smart person and should know what is important and what is important. Everyone should know what to do next, so you don't need me to remind you, right? Let's break up. Let's break up. Everyone, work hard, kill monsters and gain points to climb the rankings. Chin Yun persuaded loudly and looked around at everyone, his eyes full of sincerity, as if he was really thinking about them. His remarks were well-founded and irrefutable, like pouring a basin of cold water on a powder keg that was about to explode. The temperature dropped sharply and could no longer be ignited. Everyone present looked at me and I looked at you. They were all a little moved and began to whisper. Many people were shaken and looked at each other, but were successfully persuaded by Chin Yun. Because what Chin Yun said is indeed very reasonable. As long as you are not crazy, you will understand that what he said is the truth. Yes, the championship has been won by this fool. Killing him will not help. It will only make him leave Secret Realm, but it will not really eliminate him. His points ranking is still high at the top. Can't be surpassed. Now, Competing for second and third place is the most important thing. People with smart minds found that nothing could be done and were already preparing to retreat, because they discovered that the points of some people on the ranking list were really rising, and the speed was not slow. If they were allowed to continue brushing up, they might not even be able to get the second or third place. Instead of continuing to fight with this guy Qin Yun, it is better to compete for the ranking. Moreover, there are many people standing around him who support him, and they are not easy to mess with. Among them is the talented freshman at SS level Transcendent level, Su Xiaoyu. If a fight breaks out and she offends her, she will probably get into trouble for herself when she becomes a rank 4 level 100 big shot. Everyone wanted to retreat, and they were looking for various excuses and convincing themselves for their retreat. Not to mention, Qin Yun has given them such a good step, so they really shouldn't waste time with him anymore. Who knows which unlucky people this shadow assassin with extremely explosive power will take away before his death. What if it was me? Wouldn't that make you dumbfounded? He is right. The fact that the championship was robbed cannot be changed anyway. Let's forget it and work hard to get second or third place. After all, it is an epic piece of equipment. In this way, everyone convinced their hearts that they, who were originally full of momentum and murderous intent, changed from a condensed group to a scattered sand. They began to fight independently, each with their own gains and losses, and they were no longer united. Qin Yun couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Seeing that they had woken up and their hearts were shaken, showing signs of gradually dissipating, he couldn't help but secretly feel happy. If he didn't have to be eliminated, then why would he want to leave Secret Realm? At any rate, it would be nice to slay monsters for a while longer and gain more experience points. Brother Qin Yun is so handsome. Seeing that he actually succeeded in convincing everyone and persuaded everyone to retreat before the battle, Su Xiaoyu could not help but look at him with shining eyes. Qin Yun was indeed the Qin Yun she knew. Standing on the stage of the welcome party, Qin Yun made bold remarks to everyone in order to help her out. Qin Yun remained calm and unafraid in the face of the siege. After they stood up for him, Qin Yun cared about their safety and successfully persuaded the enemy. Why are you so good? So smart. Amelia Su simply admired him to death and regarded him as her idol, worshipping him extremely. How she hopes that one day in the future she can do the same thing and become a person like Qin Yun, full of confidence, fearless in the face of danger, calm-minded and full of wisdom. Call. Ling Shuier also breathed a sigh of relief. She looked at Qin Yun, her eyes also filled with admiration. Such quality, such excellence, such quick wit, such charisma. She had only seen it in her father, the city lord, and admired him deeply. He seems to be really different from before. Before the transfer ceremony, he was no different from any other boys. He would just hang around her and keep trying to please her. Apart from being a little more handsome, he had no other advantages and his academic performance was still a mess. He was really not good enough. How smart. As a top student, how could she like him? Dismissive, unwilling to pay attention, unwilling to respond. This was her usual attitude towards such boring suitors, ignoring them. But now, she discovered that he actually had something better than her, which even made her, who had always been proud, feel a little ashamed. Ling Shuier had to admit that she was a little attracted to him. However, he gave up his pursuit of her and regarded her as an ordinary classmate, and he no longer even spoke in a friendly tone. This made her very uncomfortable, but she didn't know how to change it. Maybe only by defeating him once, and proving her excellence can he get to know her again, right? It's a pity that she still lost this time. Even though she formed a team with others and kept working hard to defeat monsters and gain points, and went all out, she still lost and was won by him. She once again suffered a disastrous defeat. This made Ling Shuier feel a little frustrated, especially when she saw him touching Amelia Su's head in an affectionate manner, which made her feel even worse. You clearly only cared about me before, how could you be so close to other girls now? She turned her head away, not wanting to look at him, but she couldn't help but occasionally glanced at him from the corner of her eyes, then retreated as soon as he touched him. The depression in her heart was difficult to express to outsiders. Boss Qin is mighty. Boss Qin is domineering. Boss Qin is invincible in the world. Qian Duoduo, Meng Chao and Zhao Qing came over one after another, cheering loudly and starting to fight excitedly. Congratulations to Boss Chin for challenging Secret Realm Boss alone, breaking 10,000 points, and winning the championship. They really admire Chin Yun and can't imagine how he did it. That is a level 40 Secret Realm boss, and it is also a leader level. Those level attributes, just by guessing, are very difficult to deal with. Even if a dozen 5-person teams join forces to attack together, they may not be able to succeed. At the very least, they will suffer heavy losses such as attrition, or even the team will be wiped out if they fail. Chin Yun, on the other hand, can challenge the Secret Realm boss alone, which is certainly awesome. All I can say is that he deserves to be their boss. Qian Duoduo and the others were quarreling and making noises. Even several classmates from Tianhai No. 1 Middle School and those from Class 1 of the Output Department were all honored when they heard this and came around to express their congratulations. This time, it is their victory. Whether it was Chin Yun who defeated Secret Realm boss alone and won the championship, or they stood up bravely and withstood the pressure of many new contestants. This made their hearts condense into a rope, uniting them like never before. Thank you everyone, thank you for your support. Chin Yun cupped his hands and expressed his gratitude to everyone one by one. He was indeed touched, and he did not expect that they would be willing to stand up, voice their support for him, and fight alongside him in his critical moment. However, just when everyone was enjoying themselves, a cold snort came. Humph, Chin Yun, you are too happy too early. A team of 5 people came over, looking unkind, and stared at Chin Yun, who was surrounded by everyone. You have persuaded others to back out, and that is your ability, but it is still too early for you to convince us. Second and third place, just a piece of epic equipment, we don't take it lightly. I just want to compete with you to see what's so awesome about you. As soon as these remarks came out, everyone who was about to leave stopped and wanted to see who was so arrogant that he didn't care about the competition for second and third place. Oh, what do you mean? Everyone stopped laughing and joking, and all looked at the 5-person team that was speaking. Chin Yun even smiled slightly and took the initiative to stand up. In the face of provocation from several people, he remained calm, magnanimous and calm. This actually made the 5-man team that stepped forward seem a bit aggressive. Humph, Chin Yun, I won't talk nonsense to you. One of them stood up and seemed to be the captain of the 5-man team. He stared at Chin Yun and said in a tit-for-tat tone, you are indeed the winner. We do not deny this, and we do not intend to besiege you with the others, but we just don't obey you. His eyes were full of dissatisfaction and confidence in his own strength. Didn't you say that you mastered Secret Realm boss alone? It's very powerful, so do you dare to compete with us? That's right, you are the only one to challenge us, don't even think about joining us. Otherwise, we will also call others to besiege you together. Yes, Chin Yun, do you dare to agree? Several of his teammates also started making noises, making loud threats, and even invited those teams that were about to disperse to come over again to bear witness, presumably because they planned to fight Chin Yun to the end. Moreover, they deliberately used this kind of words to block Chin Yun's retreat and prevent him from taking action against him with Qian Duoduo and the others. Instead, they provoked him to fight against many. It can be said that they were pressing forward step by step and full of hostility. They are a transcendent level seed team with all S-level talent members. They are really unwilling to be robbed of the championship by Chin Yun, so they take the initiative to provoke them like this. In fact, what they said is indeed true. Their family backgrounds are very impressive and they are very financially powerful. They really don't care about 1 or 2 pieces of epic equipment, even if they fail to get the second or third place. 3 people, it doesn't matter. Because they came here for the legendary level equipment as the championship prize in the first place, and of course they refused to admit defeat. They just wanted to compete with Chin Yun, weigh his worth, or even kill him directly in front of everyone, so that they could show their abilities in front of everyone. You know, outside Secret Realm, there is still a large group of people watching, including the presidents of major guilds. If they just leave in despair, what does it mean? Doesn't this make Chin Yun even more proud? Just rely on your sharp tongue to persuade all competitors. How can there be such a good thing? Since he, Chin Yun, dares to boast that he will be ranked first in the whole grade and is arrogant, he must have a real fight. They just want to prove one thing to everyone, and that is, we are no worse than Chin Yun. It's just a lack of luck. Chin Yun, how are you doing, do you dare to pick it up? Several people in this 5-person team stared at Qin Yun with eyes full of provocation and dissatisfaction. Oh, of course I dare, why not? Qin Yun chuckled lightly and his eyes became serious. Indeed, if he wants to make everyone convinced and willing to shut up, he can't just rely on words. He still lacks a little bit of persuasion. That is a display of strength. If you don't let them know the strength gap between them and him, there will always be people who are unconvinced and want to make things difficult for him. Because he is only an S-level talent on the surface, which is the same as their talent level. He is not that powerful. He just has the added bonus of a hidden combat profession. The advantages are very limited, and they are not convinced. If, like Amelia Sue, he was a SS-level talent output profession, it would probably be a lot more harmonious, and everyone would recognize his status. Now, they just lack something to shut them up. Qin Yun didn't mind making up for them and demonstrating in public. Seeing that there was a good show to watch, the freshman contestants who had originally planned to retreat stopped again and gathered around. Indeed, it only takes a few minutes anyway, so let them see what you, the guy who boasts about being the first in the grade, are really capable of. Otherwise, if we just break up and leave like this, I will always feel like I have been deceived by you, which is really unacceptable. Everyone has this subtle feeling, but they just can't express it. Since someone is willing to come forward, of course they are happy to hear it. They want to see what Qin Yun is like. How can he defeat the leader-level Secret Realm boss alone? Upon seeing this, everyone formed a circle, surrounding Qin Yun and the 5-man team. Moreover, a large enough space was made for them, allowing both sides to freely display their strength without being affected. Boss Qin, kill them. That's right, let them know how awesome you are. Boss Qin is mighty. Boss Qin is domineering. Qian Duoduo, Meng Chao and others believed in Qin Yun's strength and started making noises and cheering for him. They have seen Qin Yun's terrifying strength with one strike, and even the sword and shield warriors can't withstand it. Of course, they support him unconditionally and are not worried at all. Brother Qin Yun, come on. Amelia Sue also shouted boldly and cheered for him excitedly. Ling Shuier didn't speak, but her eyes were obviously looking forward to it. Qin Yun, let them see the strength of the #1 scholar in the country. The alumni of Tianhai #1 middle school cheered for him. Come on, monitor. Well, these are the students in Class 1 of the Output Department. They are very excited and look forward to Qin Yun's great power. Of course, they have never seen Qin Yun's strength, so many of them are actually worried and nervous. No problem, watch me perform. Qin Yun smiled confidently at them and gave a thumbs up to reassure everyone. Then he walked onto the field and stood in front of the 5-man squad. The battle between the two sides is about to break out, and everyone is looking forward to it. How about it, are you ready? He was even in the mood to remind them to pay attention, with a very patient look. I'm going to make a trick, you should be careful, don't make excuses again when you lose. HMPH, Qin Yun, just let your horse come over. The S-level 5-man team was not afraid. Instead, they formed a 1-2-2 formation that combined offense and defense. They advanced and retreated in a controlled manner and were not provoked. They were originally full of provocation and contemptuous tone, but now they became serious, not careless at all, but very cautious. This shows that they actually do not underestimate Qin Yun, but regard him as a real opponent and take him seriously. After hearing what Qin Yun said about the special move, they even planned to defend first and then gain a firm hand. Anyway, the advantage lies with me. As long as he can resist Qin Yun's attack, he can launch a counterattack at any time and teach him how to behave. Then you have to watch out. Qin Yun pulled out the dagger from the sleeve on his waist, rotated it a few times, and held it in his hand. He focused his eyes and warned seriously, because this move of mine will be very fast. After hearing his words, everyone present waited with bated breath and stared intently, not wanting to miss any details. And Qin Yun didn't keep them waiting for long and took action immediately. Instant flash 5 consecutive rounds. As soon as he finished speaking, his figure instantly disappeared from where he was. Then, everyone present saw an incredible scene. 5 Qin Yuns seemed to appear on the field at the same time. Almost in no particular order, they teleported behind the 5-man team and attacked them with the dagger in their hands. Like 5 phantoms, they appeared in an instant, and then disappeared in a flash, but they were extremely clear and caught everyone's eyes. What? I was actually. How did he do it? The next second, the 5 people who were stabbed by the dagger were all shocked, and their expressions changed in shock. When I saw Qin Yun disappear, I thought he had activated his invisibility skill, and was about to ask the mage to use detection to break his invisibility, but I didn't expect. The 5 people looked at Qin Yun, who reappeared in disbelief, speechless. They turned into white light and disappeared in front of everyone. That's right, when they died, their health bar was cleared directly by a knife, and their health value returned to 0. He could only turn into white light and be eliminated from the secret realm. What the hell? Seconds. 5 people fell in love together. What kind of skill does he have? Suddenly, everyone on the scene was in an uproar, feeling that they didn't understand it at all. Even Qian Duoduo and Meng Chao, who knew Qin Yun's strength, were a little confused at this time. They didn't understand the situation and didn't know what was going on. Even the spectators in the stands outside the stadium were confused. They had no idea what Qin Yun had done and what the hell was the trick he was talking about. It just feels like your eyes are blurred and the battle is over. Why can he attack 5 people at the same time and kill them all in one move? Backstab, teleport, doppelganger technique. Does Shadow Assassin have such a skill? Never heard of it. Everyone was confused and had no idea what had just happened. Oh, of course they haven't heard of it. Because this is Qin Yun's self-created skill, it doesn't exist at all. It was something he came up with by chance when he was fighting monsters and upgrading, and figured out a way to fiddle with it. In fact, it doesn't matter, to be honest. It's very simple, just remember the 5 skills in advance, position coordinates, and then continuously activate the flash. It's just that after each flash, an attack will be launched against the enemy, which can be a normal attack or a skill move. Well, in this way, many monsters can be killed in an instant, which is very efficient. However, the energy points of the flash are too slow to recover. 1 point can only be recovered every 10 minutes, so this skill is not very practical in terms of killing monsters and upgrading. However, it is very useful for cutting people, and it is very powerful. Because his damage is so abnormal that no one else can withstand normal attacks, so this move looks very cool and handsome. It looks like a shadow clone attacking multiple targets at the same time. No, not at the same time. Zhang Yu was very sure about this. She looked at Qin Yun in the projection with burning eyes. It seemed to happen at the same time, but in fact it was sequential. He used a total of 6 teleports and 5 attacks. With her vision and strength, of course it was impossible not to notice it, but she still felt shocked. Oh my god, how the hell did he do that? What exactly is his awakened talent skill? Why is it so perverted? Can he teleport 6 times in a row? Is this the correct way to open Shadow Assassin? Yes, you can actually see it from the white light that disappeared after the death of the 5-man team. Xiao Yuer nodded, looking at Qin Yun in the picture. Her tone was full of disbelief. He was very fast, and it took less than 2 seconds in total. Hey, Xiao Yuer, there's some ambiguity in what you said. Zhang Yu came back to her senses, suddenly smiled evilly, poked her cheek with his finger, and joked. Ah, Xiao Yuer was stunned for a moment, then came to her senses, her cheeks reddened with anger. President, please be more serious, please. She was obviously analyzing very seriously. Why do you always drive? Moreover, can this broken road be opened? I'm not saying what he is, I'm just amazed at his fast attack speed. She defended herself, her tone a little anxious. Why am I not serious? Zhang Yu chuckled and asked deliberately, then pretended to think, and then pretended to suddenly realize, oh, I understand. Xiao Yuer, your thoughts are very impure. President, if you do this again, I will decide to strike. Xiao Yuer knew her character, took a deep breath, regained her calm expression, and threatened not to give her a chance to continue teasing him. Zhang Yu chuckled lightly and stopped teasing her. He hugged her and rubbed his face. Then, she turned to look at the projection again, her expression becoming serious. It seems that he will not agree to join our guild. Xiao Yuer's eyes widened slightly, and she was a little confused. President, why do you say that? You were obviously very confident before, saying that he would definitely agree to join our guild. Why did you change your mind now and say that he would not agree? When did you really mean it? Xiao Yuer, haven't you noticed? Qin Yun, he actually has a leadership temperament. Zhang Yu sighed softly and explained. Look, just now, when he was besieged by everyone, many people took the initiative to stand up to defend him, and he clearly decided to fight everyone, but after they stood up, in turn, he tried to prevent the fighting from happening and also successfully persuaded all those who participated in besieging him. I originally thought he was a lone wolf, so I didn't form a team. Whether it was because he had a high self-esteem and didn't want to form a team with others, or maybe he had an unsociable personality and was ostracized by everyone. But obviously, his personality charm is very good, and many people are willing to take the initiative to follow him. This is the most important leadership quality that a team leader should possess. Moreover, he is calm-minded, quick-witted, and strong. He will analyze the situation carefully and find good solutions in time. Qin Yun, he is so outstanding. Zhang Yu looked at Qin Yun, who was surrounded by everyone cheering on the projection, and a flash of appreciation flashed in his eyes. Such a person will not agree to join our guild. There is a high probability that he will establish his own guild and recruit companions who follow him. As the saying goes, if a man lives between heaven and earth, how can he live in depression for a long time under human beings? She chuckled lightly and sighed. He will not be willing to be below me. Then you can get under him. Xiao Yuer blurted out without thinking. Quote, question mark, question mark, question mark, quote. Zhang Yu immediately stared at her with a question mark on his face. Good guy, I was joking with you before, are you just kidding me? Sure enough, things have turned around. I went to her house today. My little Yuer's thoughts are indeed very impure. What are you talking about, you girl? Zhang Yu raised her eyebrows, grabbed Xiao Yuer's face with both hands, pulled it out, and made a funny look. She pretended to be angry and said, I am your president. How can you turn your elbows outward and eat the inside out? How dare you let her be under Qin Yun, my God? Do you know what you are talking about? Do you dare to say it again? She looked at Xiao Yuer with wide eyes, angry and anxious, and her whole body felt bad. Ah, Wei Chong, oh, it's not this Risi. Xiao Yuer's face was pulled, and her voice was a little distorted. Oh, I mean. Okay, let me see how you explain it. Zhang Yu let go of his hand, folded his hands in front of his chest, and stared at her seriously. She very much suspected that Xiao Yuer was driving on purpose to take revenge on her, the president. I mean, Xiao Yuer rubbed her red face and quickly explained, you can promise Qin Yun to be the vice president. When the 10-year period is up, I will officially pass on the position of president to him. By then, if you take a back seat, wouldn't you be just below him? She looked loyal and made suggestions to Zhang Yu. In this case, wouldn't he be willing to agree to join our guild? Anyway, President, don't you always like to draw big cakes for me? The bit was passed to me. Since this is the case, why not feed it to Qin Yun? Anyway, she, Xiao Yuer, is so smart that she will not be deceived by you into eating such an empty pie. As for the 10-year period she mentioned, she was actually not talking nonsense. You know, Kyoto University has a rigid rule. If you want to recruit freshmen from the school to join the guild, the president of the guild must be from Kyoto University, and he must be a student who has graduated within 10 years, otherwise, the guild will lose the qualification to recruit new students at Kyoto University. Therefore, the reason why Sun Zhengyang was able to become the president of the Shengxi Guild back then was that the term of the previous president was coming soon, and he had very good qualifications and was taken seriously. Sun Zhengyang had a strong family background, a good background, and wide connections. He also received the approval of several elders of the Shengxi Guild, so he successfully became the president in his senior year. This matter was quite sensational at the time. After all, that was the prosperous guild, with huge power, the best in the country, and attracting much attention. Oh, Zhang Yu's eyes lit up and she began to think about this suggestion seriously. You can really consider it, Xiao Yuer, it seems that I have misunderstood you. It is true that saying this to Xiao Yuer is trying to spread the pie, but promising Qin Yun that he can be the president in the future cannot be just trying to spread the pie. Otherwise, he will definitely see through and mess up the matter completely. Smash it. With Qin Yun's level of excellence, he could be considered to be trained as the next president to take over her position. Ah, Seeing Zhang Yu's seriousness, Xiao Yuer was a little dazed. President, are you serious? She really wanted to ask this, but she didn't dare to say it because she was afraid of getting beaten. Obviously what you drew for me was a big cake, but when you told Qin Yun, you were not drawing a big cake. President, you are indeed a black-hearted person. She suddenly wanted to cry. Obviously she was always caught as a coolie and did so much hard work, but in the end she was not taken seriously by the president at all. Ying ying ying. Okay, let's do it. Finally, Zhang Yu nodded and made a decision. It doesn't hurt to try. Because, if Qin Yun wants to establish a guild by himself, he will definitely have to solve a lot of troubles and work hard to gradually lay a solid foundation, and there will also be a 10-year limit, unless he does not want to recruit students at Kyoto University. Looking for new people. If she uses her position as the next guild president as a condition to invite him to join the guild, the attraction will be great. For those who are interested in establishing a guild of their own, this is a great opportunity. At least in this way, he can easily obtain a basic base, and he can also gradually control a complete guild, absorb various talents, and develop it. Even if there is a guild elder, the guild president still has great power. He can basically decide many things, and he has full decision-making power on daily affairs. It is only in certain important matters, related to the survival of the guild, that the role of the guild elders will be magnified and affect the decision-making of the guild president. Zhang Yu knew the twists and turns of these things very well, and he was sure that Qin Yun would be interested. So amazing. Qin Yun deserves to be the #1 scholar in the country, he is really awesome. Well, I'm convinced. Me too. Qin Yun killed the entire 5-member S-level talent team with one move, causing a big shock in the Secret Realm Center. They were all shocked and had to admit Qin Yun's power. Being able to kill 5 opponents with the same talent level in one move, who can do that? Anyway, they can't do it themselves, admit that they can't do it. Obviously, Qin Yun's public display of strength this time completely conquered those who were originally dissatisfied with him and truly felt his strong strength. Everyone looked at Qin Yun, who was surrounded by Qian Duoduo and the others and kept cheering, with less hostility in their eyes and more admiration and awe in their eyes, and they recognized his dominance from the bottom of their hearts. I'm afraid no one can compete with him except the SS-level talent Holy Shield Knight. However, when they saw Amelia Su who looked excited and happy for him, everyone was speechless. Why was there any need to be entangled? Even she herself had already been convinced by him, so why were they still hesitating? Forget it, that's it, S-level talent plus the hidden combat profession, it seems really awesome. Well, it can't compare. After a brief display of sharpness, many freshman contestants were frightened by Qin Yun and did not dare to stab him again. Okay, stop crowding around me, and hurry up and kill monsters to earn points. Qin Yun, who was almost thrown into the air by Qian Duoduo and the others and cheered, waved his hands and told them to hurry up and compete for 2nd and 3rd place to get the rewards of the freshman competition. Yes, boss. Qian Duoduo, Meng Chao and Zhao Qing also knew what business was, so they agreed with a smile and took the people away. After Su Xiaoyu and Ling Shuier said a few words to Qin Yun, they also led the team away to fight monsters and continued to work hard to earn points. The others also said goodbye and continued their freshman competition. Until the last moment, it is still unclear who will win, but they still have hope. At least the rewards for the top 10 are quite good and worth the effort. Then, I'll go fight some more monsters and get more experience points. Qin Yun smiled and had no intention of stopping there. He randomly picked a direction and started to continue working. Soon, an hour later, the battle for Secret Realm was finally declared over. They were all teleported away from the Secret Realm by the old principal and reappeared in the square. The old principal stood on the stage, looked at them with a smile, and began to announce the final ranking of the freshman competition. There is no doubt that Qin Yun won 1st place and became the champion of this freshman competition. His total points are as high as more than 13,700. A full lead of more than 9,000 points ahead of the 2nd place. If it hadn't been for the last hour when he wasn't too serious about finding monsters to earn points and had a somewhat casual attitude, I'm afraid this guy's points would have been even higher. It can be said that in all previous Secret Realm battles, this guy's total points have always ranked 1st, which can be said to have broken the record. When Qin Yun stood on the podium, everyone's eyes were focused on him, with all kinds of envy and jealousy. All eyes are on you. Everyone admires it. Many freshmen in the audience wanted to take their place and almost bit the handkerchief. Qin Yun is really amazing. Yes, it's really awesome. Although everyone was very envious, they had to admit his strength. This guy who promised to be the first in the grade really had something to offer. Even Secret Realm's boss-level boss can be defeated alone, what else can't he do? He deserves this championship. Oh, it's a pity that this guy is too arrogant. I admit that he is indeed very strong, but he is too arrogant. That's right, they didn't take us seriously at all. Some people sneered and slandered him because they couldn't bear to see him being in the limelight. Is he arrogant? If I had his strength, I would be more arrogant than him. Qin Yun is already very humble and low-key. That's right, that's right. But more people are refuting them and supporting Qin Yun's heroic words, accounting for the vast majority. This is what is called human nature. When your strength is strong enough and your status is high enough, the attitude of others towards you will undergo a 180-degree change. People who were originally hostile to you will instead worship you, like you, and praise you. Everything about you is beautiful in his eyes. Qin Yun understood this truth very well, so he remained calm about it and forgot all the favors and disgrace. From the beginning to the end, he had only one goal, and that was to get the championship prize of the freshman competition, the legendary level equipment. As for other people's opinions and attitudes towards him, what does it have to do with him? Congratulations, classmate Qin Yun. The old principal personally presented him with the award and handed a piece of legendary level equipment to him in front of everyone. Thank you to the school for your cultivation. Thank you to the leaders for their attention. Of course, Qin Yun would not accept it carelessly. He was very sensible and polite and said a few words of thanks. In this way, the atmosphere will be harmonious, life will be beautiful, everyone will be happy. Hello, me, hello everyone. When they saw that Qin Yun had actually obtained a piece of legendary level equipment, everyone in the audience immediately became excited. Is that the reward for being a champion? Legendary level equipment. Woohoo, I want it too. This may be the closest we get to a piece of legendary level equipment. If I take another look at it, I want to remember what it looks like. It's really beautiful. He got the equipment that only rank 4 bosses are qualified to wear. I'm really envious. Everyone in the audience looked at this scene with envy and had different reactions. Boss Qin is mighty. Boss Qin is domineering. Qian Duoduo, Meng Chao and Zhao Qing started making noise again, waving flags and cheering for Qin Yun, and they were proud of you. Brother Qin Yun is so awesome. Amelia Su also shouted with a blush on her face, looking a little excited. Qin Yun. Ling Shuier looked at Qin Yun standing on the podium, her eyes a little complicated, but she was more happy for him. Many people who had a good relationship with Qin Yun and had taken the initiative to stand up for him at the Secret Realm Center were now full of joy, beaming and rejoicing. Thank you all. Qin Yun stood on the stage, waved to them and said something seriously. Things at the Secret Realm Center were full of twists and turns, and he was very touched that they could stand up and support him. After returning to the audience, he finally had the mood to check the detailed attributes of this legendary level equipment. Name: Ring of the Phoenix. Type: Jewelry. Level: Legend. Star rating: 2 stars. Level requirement: Level 80. Occupational requirements: None. Attribute effect: Strength plus 1600. Constitution plus 1600. Agility plus 1600. Stamina plus 1600. Intelligence plus 1600. Critical hit plus 25%. Critical damage plus 100%. Damage reduction plus 30%. Special effect: Rebirth from the ashes. After death, you can choose to resurrect in place, clear your own negative status, and avoid all death penalties. The cooling time is 24 hours. This is a ring, its properties can no longer be described as luxurious, it is simply astonishing. All attributes increased by 1600. Increase critical hit by 25% and increase critical hit damage by 100%. It even increases damage reduction by 30%. For a fragile profession like assassin, and for Qin Yun who already has 50% damage reduction, this is extremely useful. As long as he wears it, he has 80% damage reduction, and the damage caused by others to him is only 20%, which is like scraping. Moreover, the critical hit and critical hit damage are increased by 25% and 100%, directly doubling his output damage, and the transcendent level explodes. For others, it is impossible to hit critical hits again and again, but he has the passive talent skill Delusion Breaking Eye that will definitely hit critical hits. As long as he hits the weakness mark, he will be guaranteed a critical hit and increase the critical hit damage by 100%. For him, it is a sure earned damage. All attributes have been increased by 1600 points, which is also very strong. It is more than the total attributes of his current career panel combined. It can be said that it has been fully enhanced. The most awesome thing is its special effect, Rebirth from the Ashes, which is equivalent to a resurrection badge that can be used unlimitedly. You can earn 50,000 yuan if you die once. The more times you die, the more you earn. Ahem, please ignore it. Moreover, according to its skill description, this is not a return to the resurrection altar in the main city to be reborn, but a resurrection on the spot. That means that if the wearer unfortunately dies in the jungle, a dungeon or secret realm, he can choose to fake the corpse on the spot, resurrect at full status, and continue fighting again. I just don't know if this special effect can take effect in the mysterious tower. If possible, it would be like a second life. Greatly improves the error tolerance rate and gives career changers a second chance to challenge. After all, this is not a resurrection item, but a special skill that comes with the equipment. Maybe it can really take effect in the mysterious tower. Qin Yun's eyes lit up. He felt that it was very possible, but he couldn't try to verify it. Because if this skill does not take effect, people will really die. He didn't want to take such a risk. Of course, he would still live if he could, or if he couldn't. Then again, he would have no other choice then. The only pity is that the wearing level requirement of this Phoenix Ring is a bit high, at least level 80. Qin Yun is only level 25 now, which is still far away from level 80. Now he can only watch it helplessly, unable to actually wear it and put it in the equipment slot. But he had expected this, so he wasn't too disappointed. Because in this world, the lowest level for epic level equipment is level 60, and the lowest level for legendary level equipment is level 80. This is the basic knowledge that every job changer has learned. I really want to reach level 80 as soon as possible. Qin Yun played with this exquisite Phoenix Ring, and his desire to upgrade became extremely strong. I can't wait to reach level 80 in one step, wear it on myself, and gain infinite satisfaction. Chapter 81. Qin Yun also understood some things from the properties of this Phoenix Ring. It should not be a randomly selected championship prize, but a specially chosen one. Because it not only improves all attributes and has no professional requirements, but also increases damage reduction by 30%, and even the special effect is rebirth from the ashes of full-state resurrection. Qin Yun had to suspect that this Phoenix Ring was actually very suitable for Amelia Su, a SS-level talent Holy Shield Knight. Its effect has greatly improved her. Almost tailor-made. However, its 25% critical hit and 100% critical hit damage are also suitable for all output-type professions, and it is also very suitable for him. This is very subtle. This shows that the old president of Kyoto University does not mind that the championship is snatched away by other freshman contestants. No matter who wins the Phoenix Ring, they can look down upon it calmly. All I can say is that its applicability is so strong that anyone can wear it. Even if Amelia Su of SS level is very suitable for it, it is even possible that Kyoto University will give out a piece of legendary level equipment as the championship prize just for her sake. The rewards of this freshman competition will be so generous. But since she didn't have the ability to get it, she just didn't get it. This was also her fate. Judging from the various performances of the old principal, it looks like this. Qin Yun savored the subtleties and found it quite strange. No one could have imagined that the person who finally got the Ring of the Phoenix would be him, the lone traveler of S-level talent, right? The awards ceremony continues. The team that won second place was Amelia Su's team. They were able to get this ranking, which was actually a bit extreme. They narrowly defeated the third place with only a slight advantage of 20 points, which sealed the result. If the game lasted a few minutes less, they might not be able to achieve the overtake and be defeated by the third place. 1. Because it was a seed team with all S-level talent, they were very smart and did not participate in the siege of Qingyun. Instead, they kept grinding monsters to gain points. In order to come to support Qingyun, Amelia Su and the others wasted a little time and almost failed to keep their ranking. Fortunately, they won in the end, and Qingyun was happy for them. Amelia Su and Ling Shuier stood on the stage, accepting the applause from everyone, and were very excited. As the captain, Su Xiaoyu took over an epic piece of equipment from the old principal. It was a level 60 shield worth several million, but how it should be distributed depends on the internal discussions within their team. Even if Amelia Su is the captain, even if she plays a great role, even if the equipment is suitable for her profession, she cannot obtain it unconditionally, regardless of the interests of other teammates. Afterwards, the 5-person S-level team that won third place also came on stage. They also received an epic piece of equipment, which was a piece of armor. It looked like a powerful heavy armor with a cool appearance. The properties should be pretty good. The captain smiled happily, and the 5 of them accepted everyone's applause and congratulations on the stage and waved constantly. Immediately afterwards, for the 4th to 10th places, the prizes are no longer equipment, but direct bonuses. The 4th place is 800,000, the 5th place is 700,000, and then it is reduced by 100,000, and the 10th place is 200,000, which is not too small. You know, a level 20 purple rare quality weapon only costs a few 100,000 yuan. If it is armor, it only costs 70,000 to 80,000 yuan. They can change it to better equipment. Moreover, the bonus is suitable for even distribution among the team members and will not easily cause internal conflicts within the team. There have been many examples of teams falling out because of interests. This can be considered a test. It is worth mentioning that Qian Duoduo and Meng Chao's team ranked 17th. Their results were not too bad, but they did not enter the top 10 and did not receive any rewards. It can only be said that the most important thing is participation, well, a consolation prize. On the contrary, the individual team that Zhao Qing joined was very good. It finished 9th and could share the bonus of 300,000 yuan. If divided equally, Zhao Qing should be able to get 60,000 yuan, which is not bad. Although Qingyun got the Ring of the Phoenix worth tens of millions, it was impossible for him to sell it for money. The equipment at the legendary level were all rare transcendent level items that had no market price. Most of the time, even if you have money, you can't buy it. Of course you should keep it for yourself. He is now the poorest in the dormitory. His total net worth is only more than 10,000 yuan, and he cannot even afford the teleportation fee back to the main city of Tianhai. Well, I have to get some blood back in my wallet. Fortunately, he had other gains in the blue secret realm, and he was very lucky. First, sell the messy materials obtained from killing monsters, as well as the level 40 purple rare quality necromantic skeleton staff. It should be worth hundreds of thousands. The award ceremony of the freshman competition is over. Immediately afterwards, it was time for the major guilds to become active and openly recruit new members. They sent invitations to many freshman contestants who performed well, hoping that they would join their guild. Among them, Qingyun received the most invitations. Many big guilds rushed to send invitations to him, hoping that he could join their guilds. Their attitude was very sincere. Except for those smaller guilds, because they understand that such an outstanding potential player as Qingyun is unlikely to deign to join their guild. The temple is too small to accommodate a great god. Of course, there are also those who want to try their luck and bravely send him invitations and promise him various high-level positions as a condition to attract him to join. Qingyun responded to this politely and did not choose any guild to join immediately, even if the other party was the famous Shengxi Guild. He told everyone the same thing, saying that he had to think about it carefully and needed some time before making a decision. Many guild presidents expressed their understanding, left their contact information, and made an appointment to meet with him for a detailed discussion next time. Also receiving great welcome is Amelia Su. She is the only SS level genius this year, and she also performed very well in the Secret Realm battle. At this time, she was surrounded by people from all the major guilds. She almost suffered from social phobia. She was so nervous that her face turned pale and she could hardly speak. Seeing this scene, Qingyun apologized and squeezed in, coming to her side. He did not intervene, but just comforted her and silently supported her. After she relaxed her mood, she was finally able to reluctantly respond to everyone's invitations. When people are tempered, they will indeed grow quickly. Qin Yun is very happy to see her progress. Finally, Amelia Sue said thank you to him, because she felt a lot more at ease with him standing by her side. Many freshmen have chosen to join the guild, but the best batch of freshmen rarely make their choice on the spot. Because there are so many guilds inviting them to join and the choices are wide, of course they have to think about it carefully. Moreover, it is also convenient to investigate the situation of those guilds privately to see which one is more suitable for you. Qin Yun thought the same way, and the hero saw the same thing. He carefully investigated the guilds that invited him, and finally eliminated most of them, leaving only a few that looked good. Then, he began to invite them privately and meet and discuss them in detail. The first person he made an appointment with was the Shengxi Guild. Mr. Qin, our Shengxi Guild is very optimistic about you, and I am also very optimistic about you. The president of the Shengxi Guild, Sun Zhengyang, actually came to meet him in person to show respect. This is very rare. You know, Qin Yunming is just an S-level talent job changer, and there is no need for him, the president, to personally take action. It seems that Qin Yun's outstanding performance in the freshman competition has indeed attracted President Sun and caused the Shengxi Guild to pay attention to him. Qin Yun also felt this and affirmed their sincerity. Mr. Qin, if you choose to join our Shengxi Guild, I can promise you that after you graduate, I will personally nominate and recommend you to become a prospective candidate for the president of the Shengxi Guild. Sun Zhengyang proposed various favorable conditions and various guarantees to Qin Yun, showing great kindness. Qin Yun was also very satisfied with this, and was indeed a little moved. You know, as the leading super-large guild in the country, it goes without saying how many outstanding talents there are in the Shengxi Guild. The previous presidents were basically held by SS-level figures. There were very few S-level ones, unless they were 10. No new recruits from SS level have joined during the year. Not to mention, Sun Zhengyang also promised to give him a position of real power, from low to high, and he can slowly rise, at least to the top of the management, and even to the position of vice president. However, although he can nominate and recommend Qin Yun as a quasi-candidate, increasing his weight and attracting more people's attention, whether Qin Yun can become the president of the Shengxi Guild depends on his own ability. How he performs, whether he can show off his talents and gain recognition from the guild elders, all depends on him. The president of the Shengxi Guild made this assurance to him very solemnly and with a sincere attitude. It seems that they take him more seriously than he expected. I really feel President Sun's sincerity. Qin Yun nodded and admitted that this condition was very attractive. He thought about it carefully, and if the next few guilds he met did not suit him better, then he decided to join the Shengxi Guild. Qin Yun thought so, but he did not immediately agree to join. He just said that he would go back and think about it carefully. He would give Sun Zhengyang a clear answer within 3 days. Sun Zhengyang was not surprised by this, because this is a normal recruitment process, and excellent talents are so in demand. By the way, President Sun, can I ask a question? The two of them finished their discussion and were about to stand up and say goodbye when Qin Yun suddenly thought of something and sat back down, looking at Sun Zhengyang seriously. Does your Shengxi Guild have any plans to break into the 100th floor of the mysterious tower in the future? Quote? Sun Zhengyang's always elegant and steady smile suddenly twitched and he could hardly control his expression. What did you say? Are you going to break into the 100th floor of the mysterious tower? Why are you like that crazy woman Zhang Yu? Are you kidding me? Mad, we met another madman. At this moment, just like that moment, he looked at Qin Yun with wide eyes, as if he had seen a ghost. This familiar problem has been a nightmare that he has been depressed for many years. Hearing Qin Yun's words, it was like being stabbed in the chest again. Sun Zhengyang almost broke his defense on the spot. Fortunately, after being the president for so many years, he had mastered qi nurturing skills, and he quickly returned to normal, at least on the surface. What's wrong, President Sun? Qin Yun noticed the change in his expression and couldn't help but be curious. Is there anything inappropriate about my question? Is this an important secret of your guild? Not suitable. It's inappropriate to step too far. You shouldn't have asked me. Sun Jungyang was roaring crazily in his heart, but he remained calm on the outside. He took a sip of tea and spoke calmly. No, it's not that. Mr. Chin is worrying too much. Sun Jungyang waved his hand as if nothing had happened, looked at him and asked strangely, but, I am very curious, why does Mr. Chin ask this? Is it because he is very interested in the mysterious tower? Ah, not really, either. Qin Yun shook his head and explained seriously. I was just thinking that when I reach the 4th level, level 100, and reach the upper limit of the level, I will have to consider this issue. If I can't get through the 100th floor of the mysterious tower, then won't I have to stay at level 100 for the rest of my life? In order to break through the bottleneck, I must take a look. Isn't this an issue that every career changer is concerned about? He looked at Sun Jungyang and asked strangely. No, no one else will, only you crazy people will keep thinking about it. Don't you know exactly what is happening on the 100th floor of the mysterious tower? That was a terrifying level that even a team led by a transcendent level boss with SSS level talent and the strongest elite team with all SS level talent members could not pass. How confident are you that you want to run in and die? Who dares to accompany you crazy people to go crazy? We ordinary job changers would be very satisfied if we could reach level 100 of the 4th job. We don't want to go there and die. A great life, a beautiful life, power, status, wealth, and beauty, don't they smell good? When you see a cliff, do you have to jump off? You are confused. Sun Jungyang looked at Qin Yun with an incomprehensible expression, as if he was looking at a fool who cannot be carved out of rotten wood. I hate that iron cannot become steel. But he did not immediately refute Qin Yun's words, but instead pondered for a moment, because he was keenly aware that Qin Yun's attitude towards this matter did not seem to be too persistent, and he wanted to save this lost lamb. Such a good young man with a bright future is worth saving. Chairman Sun thought so. Mr. Qin, the matter you are considering is a bit far-reaching. Sun Jungyang first praised him, and then changed the topic. However, some things are not that simple. You still don't understand it, and you know too little information. How about we discuss this issue again when you reach level 100? He did not answer Qin Yun's question directly, but instead made a kind suggestion. I believe that with your talent, this day will not be too far away. If everything goes well and the single-player job transfer dungeon is not blocked for too long, it will be almost 10 years. This is Sun Jungyang's estimate, because Qin Yun is a rare talent, and seems to be no worse than those who have transferred to SS level talent. Well, that's true. Qin Yun nodded as expected, seeming to accept his opinion. Although people have short-term worries, I am only over level 20 now. For me, this matter is indeed a bit too early. Ha ha ha, Mr. Qin is still very able to accept other people's opinions. Yes, this is a good quality for a president. Sun Jungyang suddenly smiled, nodded and praised him, deliberately giving him a compliment. That's right, that's it. Don't imitate that crazy woman Zhang Yu. She doesn't look back even after hitting the wall, she has no future. Listen to me, you're right. Chairman Sun was very satisfied with this and felt that he had successfully saved a lamb that had gone astray. Then, I'll take my leave now, President Sun. Okay, please go slowly, Mr. Qin. The two parties said goodbye to each other very friendly, and this meeting can be regarded as a very happy conversation. It seems that the Shengshi Guild has no plans to conquer the mysterious tower. Of course Qin Yun was not deceived. He saw Sun Jungyang's fear of the mysterious tower and couldn't help but shake his head. Is the 100th floor of the mysterious tower really so scary? However, it doesn't matter, the other party is right, it is indeed a bit too early for him. It's better to consider which guild to join first. Well, the Prosperity Guild is currently ranked first among the selectable targets. Next, Qin Yun made appointments with several large guilds. Most of the people who came forward to talk to him in detail were the presidents, who seemed to take him very seriously. However, the conditions they offered were not as good as the Shengshi Guild, and they were not as bold as Sun Jungyang. They don't even dare to promise the position of future president, it's just a senior management position. I guess there are differences of opinion within their guild, right? After all, who can guarantee that as an S-level talent, he will be able to reach level 4 level 100? As for the other conditions, they are pretty good. Qin Yun silently gave these guilds a cross in his heart and removed them from his list of selectable targets. After all, large guilds are full of talents, and their power structure is relatively complex, so it is not easy to get along. Unexpectedly, after carefully selecting so many, none of them were suitable. Okay, the appointments for the large guilds have been completed, and now it's the turn of the small and medium-sized guilds. Qin Yun closed the small notebook, sighed softly, and prepared to start the next round. He had been invited to meet several times in a row, but none of them went as expected. He was a little tired and not in high spirits. But fortunately, there were only a few small and medium-sized guilds that he was interested in, and he could get them done quickly. Among them, the one he ranked first was a guild called the Tower Demolition Team. Well, the name was a bit strange. He was very interested in it and liked it as soon as he saw it. Although not loud enough, the goal is clear, the direction is clear, the attitude is firm, and the action is decisive. One look at them will tell you the purpose of their guild. Even the Shengxi Guild, one of the country's leading super-large guilds, doesn't have this kind of pride. As the president of the association, Sun Zhengyang was even more afraid of the mysterious tower and kept silent about it. Qin Yun was still very interested in the mysterious tower, and he couldn't help but become interested in this guild and wanted to meet them. If they weren't deliberately being weird and joking, this guild should be very powerful. Through the contact information the other party left for him, Qin Yun invited them to meet at a certain coffee shop this afternoon. Hello, long wait, I'm Qin Yun. Qin Yun originally thought that he arrived early enough. The appointment with the other party was at 2:30 in the afternoon, but he arrived 20 minutes early. But he didn't expect that as soon as he walked into the coffee shop, he saw the other party. She actually arrived before him. Yes, of course Qin Yun had met her, and that was the contact information the other party left for him that day. The president of the Tower Demolition Team Guild, Zhang Yu. After returning, Qin Yun also investigated the situation of this guild and learned about her deeds. He knew that she was the champion of last year's National College League. And he is the double champion in the single and team categories. Representing Kyoto University, he swept all opponents and reached the top, a real man of the hour. The gold content is much greater than that of him, the champion of the freshman competition. After all, you have to face the best competitors trained by major universities across the country. But she was able to lead her team to win the championship with absolute advantage, which is not bad. Her talent is SS level, she is a fighter by profession, and she is very powerful. Qin Yun has seen a video of her competition on the internet, which is so fierce. When he saw it, he had to observe 3 minutes of silence for her opponents. It was so miserable. It is said that when she was a freshman, she had just entered Kyoto University and started to establish her own guild. She did not join any guild that invited her, including the Shengxi Guild. In her junior year, she had successfully transferred to level 3. Before graduating last year, her level had reached level 72, which was very close to the threshold of transfer 4. It can be said that her future is bright and many people are optimistic about her future. We just arrived a few minutes ago, so we didn't have to wait long. Zhang Yu stood up, took the initiative to shake hands with Qin Yun, nodded and said, "Hello, my name is Zhang Yu, the president of the Guild of the Tower Demolition Team." Well, her hands are so soft and yet so powerful at the same time. Qin Yun silently commented in his heart that he had a good impression of her and wanted to see what conditions she could offer to recruit him to join her guild. "This is the head of our guild's logistics department, Xiao Yuer." Zhang Yu gestured to the girl standing next to her again and took the initiative to introduce her. "Hello, I'm Xiao Yuer." Xiao Yuer nodded towards Qin Yun, standing half a step behind Zhang Yu, with a correct attitude, as if she was a serious subordinate. "Hello, Minister Xiao." Qin Yun also nodded to her as a greeting. He could tell that she should be Zhang Yu's right-hand man. She even asked him to meet, so the relationship must be extraordinary. And he also knew that Xiao Yuer was also a student at Kyoto University. She was a junior this year and was his senior. I don't know what profession she is in and what level she is at. Both parties sat down and looked at each other. Qin Yun greeted the waiter, ordered a cup of coffee for everyone, and then started the formal meeting. "Qin Yun, you are excellent and your performance in the battle for Secret Realm was outstanding. Zhang Yu didn't seem to be interested in the coffee. After it was served, he only took a small sip as a sign of courtesy and then stopped touching it. On the other hand, it was Xiao Yuer who seemed to like drinking. She didn't say anything and just looked at the two of them. But I'm a little curious. Zhang Yu sat across the table and looked at Qin Yun with curious eyes. The information says that you are an S-level talent and your profession is a hidden combat profession, shadow assassin. But I always feel that you are much better than S-level. There was a hint of doubt in her tone, as if she didn't quite believe the result. I am indeed an S-level talent, and my profession is shadow assassin. Qin Yun said with a smile, confident, calm. He will not reveal the existence of the system to anyone, nor will he tell anyone that he is actually an SSS-level talent and his real profession is the god-killing assassin. Zhang Yu's eyes flickered, but she did not continue to ask. She could make her own judgment about the facts. Although the information cannot be wrong, the records left by the job transfer Holy Stone cannot be changed, and the record Holy Stone of the Ministry of Education supports this statement. However, she felt that Qin Yun was a bit ridiculously strong and did not look like an S-level at all, even if he had a hidden combat profession. Oh, this is not a secret, I can show you. Of course, Qin Yun also noticed her suspicion, chuckled, and took the initiative to display his personal professional attribute panel. Of course, only his name, occupation, talent level, awakening level, and current level are displayed. It does not include specific personal attributes, awakened talent skills and equipment details, but a basic awareness of confidentiality is still required. Is this really S-level? Zhang Yu blinked. No matter how much she didn't believe it, the personal attribute panel would not lie. He was really only S-level, and his occupation was shadow assassin. Are you actually level 25? But soon, Zhang Yu noticed something unusual, and his eyes widened in surprise. I remember when you first entered school, you were only at level 20, and you actually only took 1 month to reach level 25. This upgrade speed is a bit fast. However, when I think of the scene where Qin Yun cuts melons and vegetables in Candlin's secret realm and kills monsters instantly by leapfrogging, this becomes normal again. Well, there is something really wrong with this person. There was definitely something that was much better than others, but she couldn't figure out what it was and was filled with doubts. Well, it's okay. I have been practicing for a whole week after the assessment. Plus this month, I finally reached level 25 before the freshman competition started. Qin Yun nodded, as if it was a matter of course. He worked very hard. Then you've been working very hard and you didn't even take a break. Zhang Yu nodded, affirming his diligence. She subconsciously picked up the cup and took a sip, but immediately put it down and frowned, as if she was suffering. With short shoulder-length hair and bright eyes, she showed the cuteness of a girl for the first time. Qin Yun thinks she is very beautiful, with a kind of heroic appearance that no other girl has. In her autumn eyes, there seems to be some kind of firm will that no one dares to underestimate. But at this moment, she was more in line with her age and more attractive. No, I enjoy it. Qin Yun smiled slightly and shook his head. He really thinks this way. Fighting monsters and upgrading does not feel boring, but is actually very interesting. This is an immersive gaming experience in the perfected being version, and ordinary players are not blessed with this. That's really enviable. Zhang Yu wiped his mouth with a tissue and seemed to secretly spit out the coffee he drank and threw it into the trash can. His lips were a little moist and shiny. Zhang, President, do you think the process is boring? Qin Yun looked away and asked. Well, it was quite exciting at the beginning, but when we got to the late stage, it got a bit boring and kept repeating itself. Zhang Yu nodded, not denying his true feelings. That's it. Qin Yun nodded understandingly and agreed. Well, if you keep repeating it, it will indeed be a bit tiring. But if you take the initiative to change the rhythm and experience new things, you may be able to regain the original fun. He touched his chin and made a serious suggestion. Oh, is it so? Zhang Yu blinked, a little eager to try. Then I'll give it a try next time. Just in time, I've been a little bored recently. Well, actually, as long as you look at it from different angles, you can always find a way to make yourself happy. Qin Yun seemed to have a lot of experience and taught her his experience. Let me interrupt, are you talking about a serious topic? Xiao Yuer remained silent, and finally couldn't bear it anymore and interrupted the two of them. She looked at Qin Yun and then at her president, with an unfounded expression on her face. Ha! Zhang Yu turned to look at her with a confused expression. What are you talking about? Xiao Yuer. No, wait, soon, she came to her senses. If she only listened to half of it and ignored a certain subject, this conversation was indeed a bit inappropriate. However, you obviously heard it from beginning to end, how could you think wrongly? My little Yuer's thoughts are indeed very impure. I'll deal with you next time. Ahem, then, let's start formally discussing the terms. Zhang Yu glanced at Xiao Yuer sideways and understood what she really meant. It was because she and Qin Yun were getting farther and farther away from each other, so she deliberately interrupted the conversation so that the two of them could get back on track. Okay, President Zhang, please tell me. Qin Yun also sat upright, looking like he was listening carefully. Mr. Qin, we are very interested in you and would like to invite Mr. Qin to join our guild. Zhang Yu looked at him and said solemnly, but we also know that Mr. Qin is very good and is favored by many big guilds. Our Tower Demolition Team Guild is just a small guild with limited strength and may not be able to offer good conditions. However, I still want to work hard to win over Mr. Qin. Her words are very consistent with the style of a president, neither humble nor arrogant, with a good sense of proportion. It can also make the other party feel that she values her, and thus feel good about her. It can be seen that she has been tempered for a long time, and her conversation is not immature. If you underestimate her because she is only 22 years old, you will probably suffer a big loss. Yes, I am very grateful for your guild's love for me. I would like to hear more about it. Qin Yun nodded, with an expression that said please continue. So, we would like to invite Mr. Qin to join our guild as vice president. Zhang Yu looked at him, looking into each other's eyes with a very serious expression, and, I can guarantee that when my term ends, Mr. Qin will be the next president. Vice President, was it so exciting right from the start? Moreover, it was decided that I would be the next president. This, even though the guild level of the Tower Demolition Team is not high, only level 6, barely reaching the lower limit of a medium-sized guild, is this condition too generous? Yes, guilds are also divided into levels. Levels 1 to 5 are small guilds, levels 6 to 8 are medium guilds, levels 9 to 10 are large guilds, and levels 10 and above are super large guilds. The higher the level of a guild, the more conveniences it will enjoy in this world of career changers and the greater its social rights. Of course, corresponding to this is the social responsibility that the guild should bear, which will be discussed later. In short, the size of the guild for the level 6 Tower Demolition Team is already very good. The conditions given by Zhang Yu are quite attractive. Qin Yun was a little surprised and looked at her, stunned for a moment. You know, even Sun Zhengyang, the president of the Shengxi Guild, only promised to nominate him as a candidate for the next president after he graduates. He needs to climb up from the bottom step by step and slowly gain seniority. Reach a senior position. As for other large guilds, there is no guarantee that he can become the vice president. He is just a high-level manager, and he also has to start from a small position. It may be much better than ordinary members, but it will not reach the sky in one step. It needs a process, maybe a few years, maybe more than 10 years, it depends on how far Qin Yun can achieve it in the future. But as for Zhang Yu, he directly asked him to be the vice president, and it was done in one step, eliminating all the intermediate processes. This is very courageous. Isn't she afraid that he will get stuck midway, reach a certain level bottleneck, and never be able to move up again? She really has confidence in him. You know, even if you are an S-level talent, not everyone can successfully transfer to level 4. Many people are stuck and stay at level 80 of level 3 for the rest of their lives. The only people who can guarantee that they have a high probability of passing the 4th level threshold are SS level transcendent level geniuses. You have so much confidence in me. Qin Yun looked at her in surprise and couldn't help but ask. Because I can see that Mr. Qin is very confident in himself. Zhang Yu smiled slightly and said, so, I have full confidence in you. This is so true that no one can refute it. Ha ha ha, President Zhang, I have to say, you are really good at judging people. Qin Yun couldn't help but smile, gave her a thumbs up and praised her. Look, how talkative is this person. He is indeed very confident in himself. You know, he is not an S-level talent as others think, but an SSS level. Where do you get stuck on the 4-turn threshold? So, I would like to ask Mr. Chin to seriously consider the sincerity of our guild. Zhang Yu looked at him seriously and said, as for other conditions, she doesn't need to mention them at all. She has already asked you to sit in the position of vice president. Why is there any need to say more? The position of the vice president has great power, second only to her as the president. So, aren't you allowed to decide all kinds of resources in the guild? No need to say more at all. I really feel President Yang's sincerity. Qin Yun nodded seriously, but did not make a decision immediately. I will seriously consider it and give President Zhang a clear answer within 3 days. Okay, then I'll wait for the good news. Zhang Yu was not surprised and nodded. Soon, Qin Yun stood up and said goodbye to them. This meeting was considered a very pleasant one. After he left, Zhang Yu and Xiao Yuer did not leave immediately, but sat back in their original positions. Xiao Yuer, what do you think? Will he agree to join? Zhang Yu picked up the cup casually, then suddenly remembered that it was coffee, and immediately put it down again. She turned to look at Xiao Yuer. Hard to say. Xiao Yuer shook her head, she couldn't guarantee it. Then tell me what you observed about him. Zhang Yu was noncommittal. She asked Xiao Yuer to come with her. She didn't ask her to be the backdrop. Naturally, there were other reasons. Because Xiao Yuer has very strong observation skills and can see a person's emotions, personality traits, true inner thoughts, etc. from the other person's subtle reactions. She is not just good-looking, otherwise she would not be so valued by Zhang Yu as his right-hand assistant. President, he has peeked at your white rabbit a total of 12 times since he came in, and the total length of his gaze was close to 3 seconds. Therefore, I judge that he is a serious white rabbit addict. Xiao Yuer looked solemn and reported to her truthfully and seriously, if you are willing to sacrifice. Ha! Zhang Yu's eyebrows suddenly stood up. He grabbed her face with both hands, pulled her to both sides, and made a funny expression, Xiao Yuer. That's enough. I didn't care about you when you were driving just now. Are you addicted to driving? Bar. Kowtow yes. Xiao Yuer insisted on her statement, her voice was distorted, it's so true even though I'm so verbose. You still say. Zhang Yu glared at her angrily, pinched her cheek hard, and finally let go. Ha, tell me, how many times did he peek at you? She did not doubt Xiao Yuer's words, because she was a fighter by profession and was very sensitive to other people's sights, so of course she noticed it. Once. Xiao Yuer replied expressionlessly. Only one time. Zhang Yu was stunned for a moment, and his eyes fell on her chest. 3 seconds later, he suddenly realized, oh, no wonder. No wonder you said he is. President, this is serious discrimination. I protest. Xiao Yuer stared at her closely, her tone gradually becoming irritable. Xiao Yuer, don't be sad, everything will be fine, you are still young. PFF'd. Zhang Yu tried to comfort her. As he spoke, he burst out laughing. He couldn't help it, especially since this sentence was a double entendre. She lowered her head and glanced at her own. Well, it was round and beautiful, plump and erect. No wonder the boy was staring at her. Wow. President, you are bullying people. Xiao Yuer's eyes also fell on her chest, and then she looked at her own airport. She couldn't help but feel sad and cried out. It is really sad for those who hear it and sheds tears for those who hear it. On the other side, Qin Yun didn't know that his little hobby was exposed, and he was still worried about which guild to join. Well, the main choice is between the Grand Age Guild and the Tower Destroying Squad Guild. As for the remaining small and medium-sized guilds that have not yet made an appointment with him for detailed discussions, there is no need to go. Because no matter how good the conditions they offer are, they will definitely not be as good as the Tower Destroying Team Guild, unless their president is willing to voluntarily abdicate and make way for others, but that is definitely impossible. This is recruiting new people, not finding a boss for yourself. How could the presidents of small and medium-sized guilds let him be the president? Quit yourself, abdicate directly, become vice president. You know, even Zhang Yu of the Tower Demolition Team will not abdicate immediately. She still has 10 years of tenure and is quite rich in time, so she dares to do this. If Qin Yun's talent was really that strong, he should have reached level 4 level 100 long ago, which can prove that her decision was correct. Of course, Qin Yun could see through Zhang Yu's little calculation and didn't take it seriously, because she was serious about asking him to be the vice president, or even the next president, and had no intention of deceiving him. If he really can't even reach level 100, then he won't have the shame to be the president. Therefore, both parties have a tacit understanding and there is no need to say anything more. The question now is, Qin Yun is hesitating which guild he should choose to join, the Shengshi Guild or the Tower Demolition Team Guild. In fact, both of them are very good, and I attach great importance to him. Qin Yun felt as if he had gone back to that time. When he had just graduated, he was faced with corporate recruitment and had to choose between a large company and a small startup. Obviously, large companies are the largest and most powerful. As the saying goes, it's good to enjoy the shade under a big tree. Joining a big company will bring you many benefits, which may not be obvious, but they do exist. Moreover, it can save yourself a lot of trouble, which is very helpful. Not to mention, he did not join as an ordinary person, but as a special privileged person. After entering, he would not only hold a small position of real power, but also be able to climb up step by step through seniority, and finally reach a high-level position, or even a deputy position. President, even president. As for small companies, their shortcomings are obvious. Their overall strength is insufficient and they are much worse than large companies in all aspects. But equally, it also has its own advantages. First of all, it has great potential and good future prospects. There is a high probability that it will become bigger and stronger and achieve glory. As long as he agrees to join, he will be the vice president. Not only does he have a high position, when the guild develops in the future, he will also be the president, and even when he retires, he will be a veteran figure. The status is lofty and important. With him joining, and Zhang Yu, the pillar of SS level, the development prospects of the Tower Demolition Squad Guild are very good. Therefore, whether you join a large company or a small business, you will have a good future. Qin Yun was just hesitating, which path should he choose? Should we focus on stability and develop slowly? Or give it a try, either reach the sky in one step, or miss the mark and fall into the quagmire? Well, the comparison between the two must be carefully considered. Qin Yun couldn't make up his mind for a while, which one should be better. But now that the decision has been made to choose between the Shengshi Guild and the Tower Demolition Team Guild, the plans to meet with several small and medium-sized guilds that were originally planned can be cancelled. This suddenly gave him an extra day and a half of free time, and he didn't know what to do for a while. Download a copy. Fight monsters and upgrade. No, let's repay the blood in your wallet first. He originally only had more than 10,000 yuan left. In the past 2 days, he had met others for dinner and spent thousands more, so there was not much left. Taking advantage of the time, he went to sell all the messy materials that he had obtained from defeating monsters in Secret Realm. He packed them up and sold them in a big sale. He probably made less than 10,000 yuan, well, just over 3,000 yuan. Monster materials above level 20 are indeed more valuable than those below level 20, but not much. But fortunately, he had another unexpected gain, the level 40 purple rare quality necromantic skeleton staff that Secret Realm boss revealed. Qin Yun found a weapons store near Kyoto University and took it to inquire about the price. After careful appraisal, the boss decided to purchase it at a price of 280,000 yuan. Qin Yun felt that the price was a bit low, because he estimated that level 40 purple rare quality weapons should generally cost more than 300,000 yuan. This boss was a bit ruthless. Although it was a recovery price, it lowered his price by tens of thousands of dollars. Even though Qin Yun asked him to raise the price and pushed him several times, the other party still insisted on not letting go. Qin Yun thought for a while and decided to forget it and not sell it to him. But Qin Yun was too lazy to go to other stores. He shouted directly on the campus forum of Kyoto University, put it up for sale, and posted a screenshot of the properties of the necromancer skeleton staff. Suddenly, a bidding war broke out on the forum, and many sophomores and juniors were very interested in it. In the end, Qin Yun successfully sold it for 350,000 yuan. Well, the person who finally bought this undead skeleton staff was a junior mage sister. She was very rich and extremely aristocratic. She threw away 350,000 without blinking an eye. Rather than this staff, She was more interested in Chin Yun, the handsome boy who won the freshman competition. She took the initiative to ask him to have a meal with him. Chin Yun politely refused. He saw her evil intention, which was to eat him up. Although he always complains that he is too poor and wants to find a rich woman to support him, he is just joking and mocking himself and cannot be taken seriously. Now facing the fiery eyes of the junior senior who was really interested in him, he ran away without daring to respond. Not bad, I finally have some money. Looking at the balance in his wallet, Chin Yun breathed a sigh of relief, and then decided to start doing what he had wanted to do for a long time, buy. He ran to the store again and bought 2 level 20 purple rare quality daggers, spending all his money. All of a sudden, I spent nearly 300,000 yuan on the 350,000 yuan I just earned. There are only 60,000 to 70,000 yuan left. You can earn it quickly and spend it quickly. However, money is something external to the body. Use it when you need it. Improving your own strength is the most important thing. Chin Yun did not hesitate at all and was very decisive. Come, let me see your transformation. He looked at the pale blade in his hand, filled with anticipation. It has now been upgraded to 5 stars. If you devour the 2 purple daggers in front of you, you should be able to advance to a higher level, from rare level to epic level. Chin Yun took a deep breath and immediately started to take action. Ding, if you detect a target that can be swallowed, do you want to activate the Infinite Evolution special effect of the Pale Blade? Please confirm. Yes, no. Single quote. Yes, confirmed. Single quote. He clicked the confirmation button without hesitation and watched as the purple dagger he had just obtained turned into white light stars, was absorbed by the pale blade, and disappeared. Since it has been upgraded to 5 stars and is at the threshold of grade promotion, its attributes have not been improved at all. It's just that there is an extra word, 1/2, after its name. Well, very good, swallow it once more and you can complete the advancement. Chin Yun's eyes were bright and he couldn't wait to start devouring it next time. However, just when he was about to use the remaining purple dagger as a material for the pale blade to devour, the system prompt that popped up showed a slight difference. Ding, if you detect a target that can be swallowed, do you want to activate the Infinite Evolution special effect of the pale blade? Please confirm. Yes, no. Single quote. Special reminder, it is detected that the current level of the host is level 25. After this devouring is completed, the level of the pale blade will be promoted to the epic level, and its level requirement will be increased to level 60. Please operate with caution. Single quote. Quote question mark quote. Chin Yun, who was about to press the confirmation button, was so frightened that he immediately stopped and almost broke into a cold sweat. I'll go, what the hell? After being promoted to the epic level, will the pale blade no longer be equipped? No, this won't work. Fortunately, there was a systematic reminder in time, otherwise, he almost did a stupid thing. I originally thought that the pale blade was a special soul weapon that could be upgraded at will, so I didn't need to pay too much attention to these things. I didn't expect that there would be such a change. However, if you think about it carefully, the best equipment below level 60 is purple rare quality. Well, luckily I didn't have time to stop. Chin Yun immediately put the pale blade back, not daring to continue to devour it. If he did, he would have no weapons to use. You know, he only has 60,000 to 70,000 yuan left, and he can't even afford a level 20 purple dagger. He can only buy a level 20 blue high-quality one. In that case, not only will his strength not be improved, but it will be reduced. The epic pale blade can only be left to gather dust in the space backpack, just like the ring of the phoenix, which can only be looked at but cannot be used. Fortunately, the system is pretty good and it actually reminded me, otherwise it would have been terrible. Chin Yun breathed a long sigh of relief and gave a thumbs up to the system that had been diving and not bubbling much. Don't look at it pretending to be dead all the time, but at the critical moment, it is really useful. In this case, we can only wait until I reach level 60. Chin Yun put the level 20 purple equipped dagger back into his space backpack, thinking this. He didn't regret buying it. It would be useful sooner or later anyway, but it would take a while, so it wasn't a waste. Well, then, let's go fight monsters, upgrade and clear dungeons. After thinking for a while, Chin Yun decided. There is no way, he is now short of money again and must continue to work hard to make money. The armors he wears are all mixed blue equipment, not even a suit, and there are 2 missing accessories, so he has to find a way to make up for them. If I join a guild, I wonder if I can get better equipment. Qin Yun touched his chin, a little eager to try. Just when he was trying to find a way to make money to improve himself, on the other side, Zhang Yu, the president of the Tower Demolition Team Guild, made an appointment with a talented freshman at the transcendent level and wanted to invite him to join the guild. Yes, that person is Amelia Su. She has been very busy in the past few days and is very popular. Almost all the big guilds want to win her over to join their camp and offer many favorable conditions. Amelia Su was very hesitant, not knowing which one to choose. Today, it was the turn of Zhang Yu's Tower Demolition Team Guild to send a request for an appointment. They had already invited them enthusiastically several times, and Amelia Su was finally able to take the time to meet and talk with them. It seemed that he had learned the lesson from the last time he was in the coffee shop. This time, Zhang Yu took the initiative to make an appointment with Amelia Su at a meeting place, which was a tea house. A professional tea master displayed high-level tea ceremony skills and prepared tea for them with pleasing movements. Then he bowed politely and left, returning the private space to several guests. Come, please have a taste, the tea here is quite good. Zhang Yu smiled at Amelia Su and said. After saying that, she elegantly picked up the teacup, took a sip, and nodded with satisfaction. Sure enough, she prefers the taste of tea to coffee. Thanks. Amelia Su thanked him a little shyly, and then followed suit, picking up the cup and taking a sip. But she always felt that her movements were not as good-looking as President Yang's. As soon as the tea entered her mouth, her eyes lit up, as if she had discovered some new world. Elegant and mellow, moisturizing and sweet. She admitted to liking the taste a little bit. Xiao Yuer, who was sitting opposite, smiled slightly when she saw this. She sat quietly next to Zhang Yu and took a sip of tea, silently. Today, she still assumes the responsibility of an observer and is responsible for helping her president better recruit talents. After tasting the tea, she gave Zhang Yu a look. Zhang Yu received her signal, understood what she meant, nodded imperceptibly, and then started to attack. Miss Su, let me get straight to the point. In fact, she could also see that Amelia Su's personality was a little different from ordinary people. This was proven both from the information collected in advance and from the current personal observation. It was precisely because of Amelia Su's character traits that Zhang Yu decided to choose the simplest and most straightforward way, without going around in circles. In this way, you can convey your sincerity better. Okay. Amelia Su suddenly became a little nervous, put down the teacup, and looked like she was listening carefully. But she didn't dare to look at Zhang Yu at all, her eyes were a little evasive. Because she discovered that the President Zhang in front of her had a unique temperament, especially his eyes. It could be said to be majestic, willful, or imposing, which made people dare not underestimate him. Compared to facing the presidents of other major guilds, she felt even more ashamed and a little cowed in front of Zhang Yu. Well, to put it another way, it was suppressed in terms of momentum, completely incomparable. Just like cat and mouse, the relationship between hunter and prey. Although she is an SS-level talent, President Zhang Yu seems to be an SS-level talent as well, and is no worse than her. This made Amelia Su lose her only psychological advantage, and she felt completely different from when she treated other people. She was really a little scared. If she hadn't kept reminding herself and cheering herself up, she would have shrunk her neck long ago, wishing she could have turned into an ostrich on the spot. Our Tower Demolition Team Guild attaches great importance to Miss Su and is very optimistic about your future. Zhang Yu looked at her seriously and said in a solemn tone, "We sincerely invite you to join our guild. If you are willing, then you will be the vice president of our Tower Demolition Team." Looking at Amelia Su, who was restless but barely able to control herself, Zhang Yu issued the most direct invitation. Wang Zha was the first to start. She suddenly smiled, and the aura all over her body turned into rain like a spring breeze. She became like a spring breeze and no longer felt so oppressive. She seems to instantly make people get close to her, and it is easy to develop a liking for her. The contrast between the two was so great that Amelia Su's heart immediately trembled, and she almost couldn't help but agree. Perhaps it was to get closer to the other person, or perhaps to escape the uncomfortable feeling of being suppressed before. In short, it gave her a subconscious impulse. Amelia Sue opened her mouth and was about to say something, but finally held back. I'll think about it. The matter was so important that she couldn't just decide so easily and let her heart go just to escape the pressure in front of her. She just has severe social anxiety, and she's not really stupid. She's very smart, right? How could you just agree to such a crucial life event? Not to mention, before this, she had already formally invited many presidents of large guilds to meet. After a certain amount of experience, this was not the first time she had faced this kind of situation. She was actually very resistant to the enthusiastic invitations and various generous conditions from these guilds. Although Zhang Yu's promise of the position of vice president sounds very attractive, the other party's guild is only a small and medium-sized guild, not large in scale, and the vice president doesn't seem to have much value, right? Compared with the promises of those big guilds, which wanted her to gradually improve from low to high, and in the end even guaranteed to make her the president, it seemed like nothing. Su Xiaoyu was going crazy in her heart, but she finally succeeded in calming herself down and getting rid of Zhang Yu's influence on her. Even though she may appear to be very socially anxious on the outside, she has a lot of inner drama, so she is not easily deceived. Before coming here, she actually investigated the situation of this guild and had a certain understanding. As a new transfer student from SS-level talent, she knows how hot she is right now. Miss Su, don't worry. Zhang Yu seemed to have seen through her inner thoughts, smiled slightly, and continued to increase the pressure, drawing the pie skillfully. Don't look at the guild level of our tower demolition team, it is only level 6 now, but I can assure you that in your before graduation, our guild will be promoted to at least level 9 and become a large guild. Furthermore, our guild will not set up several vice presidents at the same time like other large guilds. The number of positions is only 2 at most. She took the initiative to make guarantees, was conclusive and sincere in her attitude. In this way, the status of the vice president can be fully guaranteed, it will not be shared too much by others, and he will always have enough power. Only 2. Amelia Sue was stunned for a moment and looked at her in surprise. You know, there are at least 5 or 6 vice presidents in other large guilds, who are responsible for different departments, and they are basically strong contenders for the position of president. There are many factions within the guild, and the power structure is very complex. If it is really like what Zhang Yu said, it is indeed very good and you can seriously consider it. Yes, the position of vice president is vacant, just waiting for Miss Su to agree. Zhang Yu said with a smile and a sincere tone, extending the invitation again. But unlike inviting Qin Yun, although she also promised Amelia Su the position of vice president, she did not intend to let her be the president, even if she was SS-level talent. Because she did not see in Amelia Su the potential to be the president. Whether it was her performance in the battle for Secret Realm or observing her at close range now, Zhang Yu became more determined in this idea. Unless the other party's character can make a big enough change in the future, he or she will basically not be able to serve as the president and will not be able to shoulder the responsibilities of the president. Zhang Yu is very serious and responsible for the tower demolition team guild he established and will not mess around. That's it. Amelia Sue nodded. She didn't know what Zhang Yu thought of her, but she still felt that she was very valued. Of course, she was indeed favored by Zhang Yu, but it was just a little different. Can I ask, who is the other vice president? She thought for a while, hesitated, and suddenly asked a question. When asking this question, Su Xiaoyu subconsciously looked at Xiao Yuer, who had been sitting silently on Zhang Yu's right. Could it be that this ridiculously beautiful girl is the vice president of the Tower Demolition Team Guild? Otherwise, why would she come here with Zhang Yu and act like I am a subordinate, secretly observing her? Yes, Amelia Su also noticed that Xiao Yuer's eyes always stayed on her. Although this is normal, her heart is always delicate and sensitive. It feels like this is beyond the normal scope of observation. She seems to be observing her every move. Is it because she is worried that after becoming the vice president, she will take away some of the power that belongs to her? Does the other party regard her as a future competitor? Amelia Su was suddenly a little worried. She didn't want to conflict with others. For this kind of thing, she would rather give up being the vice president. It felt so troublesome. In fact, Zhang Yu was right. She was indeed not suitable to be a president. This idea was very wrong. In Game of Thrones, how can you just give in if you want? Once you retreat, you will be in an abyss, and you will never get up again. No, I'm not the vice president. Seeing this, Xiao Yuer immediately shook her head and quickly cleared her suspicions. Well, in fact, she is also this kind of person. Otherwise, how could she not want to eat the pie painted by her president, and still be teased like this so often? I am the director of the logistics department, Xiao Yuer. Well, she just remembered that the president didn't even formally introduce her identity. He was indeed a shady person. It was clear that the last time he made an appointment with Qin Yun, he had introduced him seriously, but this time he ignored it. Woohoo, my president is really too disdainful. Xiao Yuer cried in her heart, feeling pathetic for her treatment. Well, she is Xiao Yuer, not the vice president, just the director of the logistics department. Zhang Yu said very calmly, and that dismissive tone turned into a knife, piercing Xiao Yuer's heart. Wow, you're going to grow dandruff. Xiao Yuer stared at her resentfully. If it weren't for the wrong occasion, she would definitely cry to her. Oh, Amelia Su nodded, but she did not feel at ease. Because, since Xiao Yuer is not, then there must be someone else. If she becomes the vice president, she will definitely still have to face the same situation. Actually, the other vice president is also temporarily vacant. Zhang Yu was keenly aware of Amelia Su's shrinking mood, and frowned slightly, but soon relaxed it, cleverly not letting Amelia Su see it. She thought about it and decided to tell the truth to show her sincerity. In fact, our guild is also actively inviting him to join, but he still needs some time to think about it, so he has not agreed yet. Is that so? Su Xiaoyu nodded subconsciously. Suddenly, she blinked and looked at Zhang Yu. Excuse me, who is the person you invited? Among this year's new class of job transfers, apart from her, is she the only one who is qualified to receive such preferential treatment and invitation? Could it be? His name is Qin Yun, I think you should know him. Zhang Yu smiled at her and said. She still remembered that during the battle for Secret Realm in the freshman competition, when Qin Yun was besieged by everyone, Amelia Su took the initiative to stand up and wanted to fight side by side with him and advance and retreat together. The relationship was obviously extraordinary. Perhaps, we can think of a way from this direction. If Qin Yun had agreed to join them, it wouldn't be so difficult now. If he said it directly, he would probably be able to influence Amelia Su's decision, right? It's a pity that Qin Yun has not responded so far, and he has to continue to wait. The 3-day period has not yet arrived. Rather than fighting for the SS level Su Xiaoyu to join, Zhang Yu found that he cared more about the S-level Qin Yun and was worried that he would not agree to join the Tower Demolition Team Guild and instead join the Shengxi Guild. Her instinct told her that it must be their guild's biggest loss. Should I take the initiative to call and ask? But, wouldn't this seem a little too eager? At this moment, Zhang Yu, who had always been very confident in himself, became a little uneasy and was in a dilemma. Qin Yun. Amelia Su's eyes suddenly lit up and she said with sparkling eyes, you want to invite brother Qin Yun to join your guild as the vice president. Her tone was a little excited, and her whole person changed, as if she had heard some happy news. Yes, Zhang Yu also flashed his eyes, looked at Amelia Su, and smiled. In fact, I even promised him to be the next president after my term ends. Brother Qin Yun, what a term of endearment, you and he are obviously the same age. He was 18 years old and had just changed jobs and awakened. Why did you call him brother? Could it be because you were a few months younger than him? She was very curious. It was a bit surprising that Amelia Su would call Qin Yun like this. It seems that Qin Yun is indeed likely to influence Amelia Su's decision, and it is worth fighting for. Well, just be as eager as you can, and you won't be able to hide it from that shrewd guy anyway. He is not as easy to deal with as Amelia Su. Moreover, he has never concealed that he hopes he will join his guild. Zhang Yu thought so and quickly made a decision. How could this President Zhang know about her and Qin Yun's affairs? In fact, since Qin Yun gave her a head-touching kill before the last battle for Secret Realm, her name for him has automatically changed from Qin Yun to Brother Qin Yun. Very natural. It was so natural that even Qin Yun didn't notice it. He acquiesced in the way she called him and didn't notice anything was wrong. Probably in her heart, Chin Yun takes care of her like her big brother, right? This is Amelia Su's true feelings that have been ignored by her parents since she was a child and not noticed by people around her. She spontaneously wants to call Chin Yun her brother, willingly, wants to make the relationship between the two parties closer, and is even afraid was rejected by Chin Yun. Because in that case, she must feel sad, and she will be alone again. The next president, Su Xiaoyu, was really surprised now. She didn't expect Zhang Yu to value Chin Yun so much. Not only did he invite him to join the guild and become the vice president, but he also promised to make him the next president. You know, on the surface, Chin Yun is just an S-level talent, which is a hidden combat profession, which is his extra bonus. Brother Chin Yun is indeed very powerful. Amelia Su was amazed in her heart, but she didn't think it was strange, because in her heart, Chin Yun was so good, so powerful, and completely worthy of the position of president. In fact, she has never made a decision to choose any large guild, even the Shengxi Guild. Perhaps her true intention in her heart is to see which one Chin Yun will choose. Even if Chin Yun chooses to establish his own guild, then she will definitely be willing to join. Chin Yun doesn't even need to come over to invite her and just make the request. Yes, I value him very much. Zhang Yu nodded, not hiding his appreciation for Chin Yun. I think he is very suitable to be the president and has great potential. Quote. Amelia Su was so excited that she hesitated to speak. After several times, she finally nodded. Okay, if brother Chin Yun agrees to join your guild, then I will also join. Without any hesitation, she directly put forward her conditions without any bargaining, and her tone was very firm. Zhang Yu was stunned and looked at Xiao Yuer. She nodded solemnly. Okay, I will try my best to fight for it. She assured this. Soon, the two sides ended the meeting and said goodbye to each other, which was considered very pleasant. After sending Amelia Su away, Zhang Yu and Xiao Yuer looked at each other, feeling that they had underestimated Chin Yun's personality charm. Unexpectedly, he had such a great influence on Amelia Su. President, this is buy one get one free, don't miss this opportunity. Xiao Yuer reminded with a serious expression. SS level is actually given away for free, can you believe it? I know. Zhang Yu pressed her temples with her fingers to calm down. How about you consider my last suggestion? Xiao Yuer looked at her and said cautiously, frantically testing on the verge of committing suicide. What was your suggestion last time? Zhang Yu frowned. He couldn't remember it for a while. He had a vague impression of something bad. It's what I told you last time. Xiao Yuer blinked her eyes, looking forward to it, and encouraged, if you are willing to sacrifice. Suddenly, her face was grabbed by a pair of hands, and she couldn't hide away. Xiao Yuer, are you itchy? On this day, Chin Yun completed 3 nightmare difficulty spider caves and spent an afternoon playing wild monsters to gain experience and upgrade before returning to the dormitory. Recently, he had good luck. He discovered the main material of a spider suit and sold it for almost 20,000 yuan, making a small profit. Hey, Boss Chin, why are you back so late today? As soon as he returned to the dormitory, he heard Qian Duoduo's voice. He seemed to be chatting with Meng Chao and Zhao Qing. Seeing Chin Yun coming back, the three of them couldn't help but look over. Well, I went to the wild area today to fight monsters and level up, and the harvest was good. Chin Yun smiled and nodded without hiding anything. Since he cancelled his plans to meet with the remaining guilds, he suddenly had free time to fight monsters and level up as much as he wanted. Looking at the legendary level Phoenix ring in his space backpack and the pale blade that will soon be promoted to the epic level, his desire to upgrade as soon as possible is extremely strong and he is full of motivation. I really want to spend every minute and every second to fight monsters and upgrade, I don't want to waste any time. Of course, you still need to sleep and rest. Nighttime is not suitable for killing monsters in the wild area, so you have to return to the dormitory. Go to the wild area to fight monsters and upgrade. Suddenly, Qian Duoduo's eyes lit up and he quickly asked, Boss Chin, which guild have you joined? You know, in the past few days, the new job transfer students who have just finished the freshman competition are basically busy with joining the guild. They have appointments and meetings, and they can't spare the time to fight monsters and upgrade. The same goes for Qian Duoduo, Meng Chao, and Zhao Qing. Their performance in the battle for Secret Realm was quite remarkable, and they were favored by many guilds and sent invitations to them. Since Boss Chin said that he went to the wild area to upgrade and fight monsters, he must have decided which guild to join, right? No, not yet. Qin Yun shook his head and said, there are currently 2 guilds that are more suitable. I am still considering which one to choose. That's it. Qian Duoduo's expression fell and he seemed a little disappointed. What's wrong? Qin Yun was a little confused. It's obviously something I should be worried about. What's your expression? Ah ha ha. Qian Duoduo smiled and scratched his head and said, actually, we haven't decided which guild to join yet. We were still discussing just now. Well, it's a very important matter, so we need to think about it carefully. Qin Yun nodded, understanding very well, because he thought so too. For a career changer, joining a guild is indeed a relatively important matter. It is no more arbitrary than choosing which company to apply for after graduating from college in his previous life. It should even be treated more carefully, because this is very likely to greatly affect your future career as a career changer. Once you make the wrong choice and find it is not suitable, you want to quit the guild and join another guild. It will be much more difficult and inconvenient than trying to change jobs from one company to another in the previous life. Boss Chin, actually, Qian Duoduo hesitated for a moment and said cautiously, we want to join the same guild as you. Meng Chao, who had been listening with all his ears, immediately expressed his stance and nodded repeatedly, yes, I want to follow Boss Chin. Me too. Zhao Qing also raised his hand weakly, as if he was worried that he would be left behind. Follow me. Qin Yun blinked, a little surprised. Yes, Boss Chin, we want to hug your lap. Qian Duoduo explained the reason simply and straightforwardly, not hiding the fact that he wanted to hug his thigh. He smiled. It's rare that we are so lucky to be in the same dormitory with you. Moreover, Boss Chin, you are such a good character. If we don't seize the opportunity and hold on tight, won't we regret it later? Me too. Meng Chao nodded like garlic, cupped his hands, and expressed his agreement. +1 upstairs. Zhao Qing also followed closely. In fact, the reason why the 3 of them haven't decided which guild to join until now is because they want to see which guild Qin Yun has joined, and wonder if they have a chance to join it, and then be in the same guild with him. Become comrades and partners. Now, except for Qin Yun, a monster who has been promoted to level 25, and a small number of freshmen who failed to successfully transfer and are stuck in front of the threshold, most of the new job transfer students are stuck at level 20. This is also the best window period for all freshmen, except when they first enter school, to have the most unified levels and to reorganize the team. Moreover, once you start joining a guild, many teams will be broken up, because it is generally unlikely that 5 people will choose to join the same guild, and the guild may not extend an olive branch to 5 people at the same time. They will all have their own considerations and eventually go their separate ways. Therefore, there will be a large-scale readjustment of team personnel. In this way, their best choice is to form a team with people from the same guild, and eventually form a more familiar and fixed team, and completely become comrades and partners in the careers of career changers. This kind of intimate relationship often accompanies the career changer throughout his or her life and rarely changes again. For example, Qin Yun's father Qin Feng and mother Lu Qin met in this way, and even later in their adventurous career, they sparked a love and became husband and wife. This kind of relationship is much more important than forming a team with others in order to compete for the championship of the freshman competition when you first entered school. This is also the last chance for freshmen every year to find suitable teammates. If you miss it, it will be difficult. If you don't find a team, you may become a single person in the future and be weak. For dungeons that others can play, you have to spend time finding people to form a team with. The high difficulty secret realm that others can challenge requires you to find various groups to mingle and cooperate. Others can go on adventures in various dangerous wild areas, run through mazes, fight bosses, open treasure chests, and explode equipment. You have to be frightened, afraid that you will accidentally encounter a dangerous situation and die suddenly. Not to mention, the mysterious tower where even resurrection items cannot take effect. Unorganized individuals are the most helpless, hard to get along with, and particularly vulnerable to bullying by others. You finally come across a rare elite monster, a hidden treasure chest, and a rare material resource in the wild area. But when others see you, you are the only one there, and they grab it as soon as they say it. Maybe they don't like you. We'll also give you a free return ticket. In short, joining a reliable guild, forming a fixed team, and finding trustworthy comrades and partners are very important for career changers. This is definitely not just as simple as joining the same guild and becoming a member. You want to join the same guild as me. Qin Yun also didn't expect that Qian Duoduo and the others would trust him so much. He thought about it seriously and said, "But, I have already reached level 25. My upgrade speed has always been very fast, so I am not suitable to form a team with you." Team. If the level difference is too far, the experience value will directly decay to 0. If nothing else happens, I will keep upgrading alone. With his upgrade speed, basically no one can catch up with him, only he can catch up with others. Of course we know this. We never thought that we could form a team with you, boss, and slow down your upgrade speed. Hearing his words, Qian Duoduo, Meng Chao, and Zhao Qing looked at each other and smiled. We just want to follow you, Boss Qin, and be in the same guild together. At the critical moment, you can protect us, boss. Quote. Boss Qin, we are determined to follow you. Meng Chao said loudly, his bold and rough voice making the whole dormitory seem to tremble. Yes, you won't dislike us, right? Zhao Qing looked at him firmly and asked in a low voice. That won't happen. Qin Yun scratched his head and felt a little embarrassed. It's just that you suddenly did this, which makes me a little stressed. What if? If I delay your future, wouldn't I betray your trust? We believe Boss Qin. Before he could finish speaking, Qian Duoduo, Meng Chao and Zhao Qing spoke in unison and almost swore to the sky on the spot. After more than a month of getting along, they also saw Qin Yun's character and trusted him very much. Okay, I agree. Seeing that they trusted him so much, Qin Yun was very moved and nodded solemnly. Thank you, Boss Qin. Suddenly, the three of them smiled and were overjoyed. With such a thick thigh, as long as they hug tightly, the future will naturally be smoother. Well, we are all brothers, so there is no need to be so polite. Qin Yun was also a little happy about this. After all, being able to be trusted so much that someone even entrusts the future to you is the highest recognition for you. This was even more touching than the last time they were willing to stand up and support him in the secret realm battle. Let's go out to eat and celebrate. I'll treat you. Qian Duoduo suddenly became very angry and wanted to treat the whole dormitory to a big meal. The best restaurant in the main city of Kyoto, order whatever you want. No, how can I let you show off alone? But Meng Chao shouted loudly and quit. I also want to pay for Boss Qin to drink. I can still afford this little money. I just received 60,000 yuan, and I have money too. Zhao Qing was not willing to be outdone. He was 9th in the freshman competition. He made a small fortune and was very confident in his speech. TCH, what good food can you get with your little money? Okay, don't argue with me. I have plenty of money. Qian Duoduo glanced at them sideways, his anger erupted, and he wanted to make a decision. How much money do you have? I have to pay for it anyway. But Meng Chao refused to give in and was not intimidated by Qian Duoduo's aura. Yes, I also want to contribute. Zhao Qing was also very insistent and would not let Qian Duoduo focus on his beauty. Okay, let me treat you to a meal. Seeing them refusing to give in to each other, Qin Yun shook his head and laughed, and couldn't help but said, even if I want to thank you for helping me in the secret realm battle last time. He has also saved more than 80,000 yuan, enough to treat everyone to a good meal. No, X3. Unexpectedly, the three people said in unison without giving him any face. Well, Qin Yun was stunned. I am the boss. Don't I want to lose face? He was carried out of the dormitory by three people and ran to a 5-star restaurant in the main city of Kyoto, where he had a luxurious meal. All I can say is that the food is really delicious, but the price is really expensive. Even the BUFF was eaten after a meal. It can be seen that the person who took the action must be an S-level chef. It is really a waste. Attack power increases, defense power increases, life recovery speed increases, stamina recovery speed increases, mana recovery speed increases, various attribute percentage increases, skill cooldown time decreases. I didn't expect to challenge the single-player job transfer dungeon, and I didn't have a chance to taste the buff feast. I just ate it in my stomach in a daze, but I didn't do anything. I could only watch the duration of the buff state decrease every minute, and finally disappeared. Hey, what a waste. Why isn't there a boss for me to fight? Qin Yun sighed softly, how he wanted this rare buff to have some effect, even just a little bit. They only lasted 3 hours, and he couldn't wait until he went to clean the spider cave tomorrow. The only good thing was that the meal tasted really good. It was just like the rumors. It didn't disappoint him, who had been looking forward to it for a long time. It was a good meal. Early the next morning, as soon as he got up and washed up, and was about to go out, Qin Yun received a call. Hello, I'm Qin Yun, who are you? He glanced at the caller's number display and was a little surprised to find that it was the contact information Zhang Yu had left for him. According to his observation and judgment of Zhang Yu, given the other party's personality, he would not take the initiative to call to urge him before the 3-day deadline. Why did he call suddenly? Could it be that he learned that he had met Sun Zhengyang of the Shengxi Guild and was worried that he would be snatched away, so he couldn't help it? Hello, Mr. Qin, I am Zhang Yu. As expected, Zhang Yu's voice came from the other end of the phone. Her tone seemed a little embarrassed. I'm sorry to bother you. Can we meet? She made a request to meet. I want to have a good talk with you. Okay, let's do it today, you choose the location. Qin Yun thought for a while and agreed. It happened that he also wanted to talk to her about something. Then, Zhang Yu's tone seemed a little happy, and he mentioned a location, which seemed to be a tea house. Sure enough, she doesn't like drinking coffee. Qin Yun was so thoughtful that he knew that the last time he asked her to meet at the coffee shop was obviously a mistake. But fortunately, he didn't really like it that much, he just chose it randomly at the time. Okay, let's see you then. Qin Yun nodded and had no objection. Anyway, he likes tea, so of course he won't refuse. See you then. The two parties happily agreed on a time and place and hung up the phone. Boss, Qian Duoduo and the others, who went out to class together, also heard a few words and looked at him curiously. Well, one of the two guilds I'm considering choosing, President Zhang, seems a little impatient to wait. Qin Yun did not hide anything from them, nodded and said, just in time, let me ask you this time if their guild still accepts people. Woohoo, long live Boss Qin. After hearing his words, Qian Duoduo, Meng Chao and Zhao Qing cheered immediately, of course they understood what he meant. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.